Welcome back to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, Season 2, Episode, what is it, 58? I think it's 58 today. How you guys doing? We're going to have a packed show for you guys. We got some brand new rumors and stuff to talk about. What is a surprise? Nintendo Direct and Switch 2 related. We have to talk about our favorite leaker of all time. So that's going to be a fun one. And then we actually will be having a topic all about love up in here because it is the month of love. If you guys don't pay any attention to my streams, you'll see we have the Cupid's arrows and all this stuff going on. Well, for this stream, we're actually be talking about why we love Nintendo and a bunch of questions related to that, favorite games and all the stuff and how we got into this, all this shindig. It's going to be a blast. If you hear Jake talk about PlayStation, that just shows where his loyalties truly lie. That being said, we're going to start the show the same way we start every single week, and that is going around the room, introducing ourselves, and what have we been playing lately? We'll start with Nintendo Talk because it has been a while, buddy. How's it going?
Yes, sir. It's going good. My name is Patrick from Nintendo Talk, and like most of us, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for new games. Been playing Animal Crossing. Mario vs. DK demo was pretty good. It was like 10 minutes though. And revisiting Arceus, which is the best Pokemon game on Switch.
Agreed. Amen.
Yes.
Amen
I
to
think
that,
it might
brother.
be one of the
I don't
best
even think
Pokemon
it's
games,
close.
period.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's close.
I would
You know,
agree.
I not to completely throw us out on a tangent already, but I've been playing the DLC and it's pretty good DLC. Once you get past like the first half of part one, like the second half of part one and part two are like really good.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't want to like unintentionally plug myself, but I did recently do a review on it, and there's a lot to cover for the folks that have not played the Scarlet and Violet DLC. It is absolutely worth checking out.
It has a little bit of that spirit that I think people have been like. I'm sorry, I know I'm ruining the introduction, but like there's like this little quest you do at the end of part one where you go on the photo shoot with what's her name, Perrin, I think that moment really kind of it felt like modern Pokemon, but with the essence of like older Pokemon, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it
talking
does.
about? Yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty magical. But I'll shut up now. We'll probably go on this tangent a little bit later. This is where someone else was.
Jesus Christ. Nate.
Nintendo Hawk. You were
getting
saying
bricked up, don't worry
Nintendo
about
Hawk. You were talking about the games that you were playing. You said
Yeah,
you've been playing
I know it's not on me right now.
Arceus.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. I'm just waiting for a partner showcase, apparently. But we'll get to that.
What? Spoilers!
I mean,
I didn't even put it in my title. I got a clickbait. All right, we're gonna get to Sabrina, Saffron City TV. Welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing wonderful. I'm so excited to be here on the podcast as like my second time because I had such a blast the first time. So I'm really glad that y'all invited me back. I
You're
like
trying to
it.
make
I
this
like
what, once a
I like
month,
it here.
maybe?
Yeah, I would love to come on
Let's
once
do
a
it.
month. I think that would be totally cool. But yeah, I'm Sabrina. My channel name is Saffron City TV. I pretty much talk about Pokemon games, and I have not been playing them lately, actually, because I'm working on something right now. I just finished playing Pokemon Emerald and Omega Ruby, and then but in my spare time when I'm not playing games for a purpose and I'm just playing games to have fun, I've been playing Fire Emblem Engage, and
Nice.
it is
Fire.
different. It's very different from what I anticipated because
Is it engaging?
last week it is, but it's kind of corny. Like
Okay.
it's pretty corny. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I'm kind of like I'll be playing it and I'm like, oh. But outside of that, like the gameplay itself is really fun. It's really challenging. I feel like I'm playing video game chess. It's a great time. I love seeing all of the old Fire Emblem characters, most of which I recognize from Smash, but for the most part. But at the same time, like I'm enjoying seeing them and getting to know more about the characters. And the actual gameplay is a hoot, and I have really been enjoying it lately.
Nice. Did you play Three Houses?
I didn't, but I want to so bad. I keep
That
hearing
one's like Fire Emblem Persona. Like,
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing like mixed things. A lot of people like Engage more than Three Houses, and a lot of people like Three Houses more than Engage. And so I'm kind of just like, I need to play both.
yeah, well, I think Engage is more like traditional Fire
Traditional,
Emblem, where it's
yeah.
like just the battles with a little bit of story in between, but it doesn't like basically lets you jump battle to battle really quickly. Whereas Three Houses, you have to do a lot of like Persona-y stuff and build relationships in between each of the battles. And for me, I like that more.
I actually like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think what I get hung up on as far as Fire Emblem Engage is concerned is that some of the voice acting is spot on and is really, really good. And then some of the voice acting, I'm like, this is difficult to listen to. I wish I could put it in like Japanese and read subtitles
That
sometimes.
makes sense.
But
Can't you?
so I don't know. I tried, but
I thought that's how I
didn't
played it. I don't remember.
I didn't look hard enough, to be honest. But
Oh, okay.
outside of that, like I am looking forward to playing Three Houses. Could you gauge it for me on like the corny scale?
I didn't beat Fire Emblem Engage, but that's because I got distracted with other games. It's one of those things I've been kind of meaning to get back to. Maybe after that Pokemon DLC.
I mean,
So
three houses. I have a waifu, so that's what it is.
Yeah,
you
I
can have a
chose. I chose.
waifu,
Oh,
I-
you're gonna have a waifu.
Yeah, I made
And you
sure.
have
Absolutely.
a
I made
husbando
sure
too.
to support Edelgard and all of her efforts.
right.
and all of her
All
efforts.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll have to.
Yeah.
I'll have
There's
to
a
find a.
certain teacher I was getting down with. It is what it is. The student has
Whoa.
become the teacher.
Well, I'll have to find a suitor. So I'll check it out.
happens.
I'll let y'all know who I end up being involved with.
All right. All right.
By the end
There
of
we
it.
go. There
Looking
we
forward
go.
to it.
Look
Here.
forward to that on a future podcast,
right.
everyone. That's going to be giggity, giggity goo. Eric, what's
Yeah.
going on, buddy?
Well, you know, same old.
So playing nothing. No, you
Kind of, sorta.
Nah, actually, there's a little bit of an update.
There. I beat every shrine in TOTW.
Damn.
Oh, you did?
I found them.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's actually
Yeah.
a nice accomplishment. Congrats.
yeah, right.
I haven't even.
Now
done
I'm light
that, so-
roading, so
Hell yeah.
yeah, it makes things a
Awesome.
lot easier when you know where they are.
When you know where they all are because of the shrines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, you know how to build a little bike to explore the
Yeah.
depth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's the
Although mine
easiest way
kind
to
of
get
goes
all the
like
bikes.
this.
Some of the light routes are tricky though, because they're like hidden
Yeah.
in stuff and you can't like get to them the
Yeah.
same way you would be on the overworld map.
Yeah.
So a couple of them
Even
can be
with the
annoying,
bike,
but,
they're hard
like,
to find.
98% of them just grab the little bike and just go around.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you like the shrines better in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh, Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Definitely
They-
Tears.
It's just there was so much more variety.
Yeah.
Even the
Exactly.
ones that were the same, like the ones where they took away all your weapons and things, those were still different. It wasn't like it
I like
was.
those.
It wasn't like it was.
It wasn't like the
those-
combat shrine
Yeah.
over and
Yeah,
over and over
combat
again.
shrine,
One-
exactly.
They took
Yeah.
the one challenge from Breath of the Wild where you go on the island
Mhm.
and it takes away all your weapons, and like that was one of people's favorite parts. So
Mhm.
like, all right, let's make this a common occurrence, and I like that a lot too.
Yeah.
and
I will. Nothing
was all
matches
different, too.
Eventide Island though. Eventide Island.
Right.
Aventide Island is like still
So
maybe the
good.
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Good.
it.
Nice. Hey, that's something. I haven't beat every shrine yet. So,
Nice.
what's up, Jake? Keeping it clean? Are you sure?
Keeping it clean.
I
and
saw you
keeping it
getting
brick.
bricked up for a minute.
The
Hold on,
yin and
so-
yang, man. The
Would you
balance
like me to
This is
fetch
light
you a
and
mop?
dark.
This is an episode about love, and you want him to keep it clean.
But
Just
also
saying.
I
keep
mean-
it bricked up.
Well, just wait till we get to the love portion. It'll probably not be clean anymore.
You can
We'll
keep
see
it
what
clean. It's wholesome love.
Wholesome
Mhm.
love. That's what
Okay.
we're looking for.
All right, all right. So what have you been playing lately?
So I actually I've been playing Dead Cells more. I think I was playing that last week too. I've beaten the whole thing many times, but like I said last week, I never had gotten all the DLC. So I just get addicted to those kind of games and I just play them a ton. So I've been playing with that. And then I got Monopoly on the eShop for like $8 and I played like 3 games in a row and
By
it put like
yourself?
6 hours just sitting there. I meant to play like one game, but I've been playing Monopoly on video game consoles since the PS1. I don't know why. It's just like a guilty pleasure thing that I do.
It's a good
So,
version. The Switch one's good.
The only thing I don't like is that you can't fast forward the AI's turns.
Oh yeah.
You literally have to sit there
Mhm.
while they do it, and it's not like super slow, but it's slow enough to be to the point where like, okay, a 2-hour game could have taken me less than an hour if I could just fast forward. But it's all right. I was still had enough fun to play a lot.
There you go.
I hate my
Andres, restart. Who the hell are you? And what have you been playing lately?
I prefer.
Well, did I just create an existential crisis? Sorry. Sorry. I didn't
Who
realize.
am I?
Who
Who
am
am I? No, it's one of those things where I don't want to be like egocentric and just be like I am going to become the Pirate King. Just you.
Oh.
You'll
The
see
Pirate
that.
King?
You
Yep.
found the One Piece?
I am going to find One Piece and become king of the pirates.
All right, Luffy.
It's gonna
All
happen.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Luffy,
Yeah.
you
All
got
right,
a challenger.
gonna-
Look out.
We're
Yeah,
gonna hold
until
you
that-
to it.
Until that day, though, I'm going to be talking about Nintendo every day. So yeah, that's what I do. And sometimes I play games that are Nintendo, including Pokemon, but I already talked about that. And it's performance issues aside, which are constant and rampant and terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Um,
that, dude. Don't worry. 1 out of 5 guys suffers that.
The game's still pretty good.
And there we go.
There it is.
I don't even know what
dirty
you
bird.
said.
He made an
You-
erectile
I was-
dysfunction
I
reference.
felt
You
bad for your
dirty
performance
bird.
issues. Your
Oh,
word.
Yeah.
oh.
He was letting you know it's okay. 1 out of 5 guys experience applications.
I- Good for you, man.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
So, I have done 2 things this week with the games I played. First off, for those who don't know, all our super chats and all that, that's how you get your questions in for the Q&A section. We actually have one to share right now already because every time this guy's on the show, I don't know what he's doing. He's just showing extra love. I was
Showing out.
late, by the way.
Yes,
I
yes.
was the one late. Everyone
Showing
got the
out.
link late to join the show. But I also what he didn't know is I said I will do a shot for every super chat on this show. I made that.
Oh.
Here's what happened. So last night we had a crazy live stream. I do these $100 tequila shots. Well, we had $600 in the first 10 minutes of my stream last night. So I had to start off the stream with 6 straight tequila shots.
Oh
And so-
my god.
Promises were made. And so now I'll be doing shots all night, which was not what I usually do on Wednesdays. So thanks for the starter shot. I'll make it easy.
Well, you know
Get
what?
your dollar
Here,
shots out, people.
I'll make
Yeah,
you.
right.
I'll make you a deal. I'll grab a beer so you don't have to drink alone. But I'm only drinking beer. All right, I'm not doing no damn
No
shots. Y'all are out of
shots.
y'all's damn mind if you think I'm gonna do that. I have to
No,
work
no one
tomorrow.
else has to actually participate. This was
But-
just something I told my audience.
Hey,
listen,
Hey,
Friends,
I will drink
break up.
Friends do
a
not let
purely
friends drink
subtly
alone.
sweet peach iced tea.
I have a glass of
I'll do
water.
it.
Well,
Is it vodka?
I'll do
or
Coke.
water?
it's Everclear.
It's my favorite drink.
Oh man, I'm literally looking like, what's the weakest alcohol I have? 30%. So
Oh my goodness, that's the weakest, you monster.
I have
Well-
beer. I might do some beer shots later if this gets a little too crazy.
That sounds so
Well,
gassy.
I'll be back. I will go grab
Who
a
kn-
Corona.
I've
I
never
shall
gotten
be back.
gas on beer in my life. Oh man,
Oh
maybe I'm just a professional drinker. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
You
The
are from
bubbles and the
Wisconsin.
foam aren't. Yeah.
I am from Wisconsin. It is true. All right, no. So what have I been playing lately? One, I think I said I beat it before, but I technically didn't. I finished off Super Mario RPG. Finally, like officially beat it. I think I said I beat it before, but I actually was in the final part of the game. So I just counted it as beating it, but I technically didn't. So I beat the game. My opinion hasn't changed. It's still oh my god. Okay, it's still beginners. A beginner's RPG is what I would say. But you know, I think what the game has made me excited for is, especially now that we have sales figures in for it, and is now the best selling. It outsold the original. I think I'm actually a little bit excited if they actually make another one, like a brand new one, because I see a lot of things that they did in this one that they might do different in modern day. So I'm kind of excited if they bring out a new one. That's what I'm more looking forward to than that one. And then I also played a bit more of Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm still not like super deep into it because I spent the time finishing off Mario RPG, and then I got like another hour into the game. This upcoming week is probably when I'm going to finally be able, like next week, give you guys some real thoughts on what I think about Horizon as a first time player. Because I'll probably get like another 10 hours deep in it. We'll see. Yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing game wise. Otherwise, you guys see all my content, and if you don't, what's wrong with you? You already see my live streams, and if you don't see those, then I don't know what's wrong with you. I know Sabrina's been at some of them, so
I have. I've tried to pop in from time to time. The
Andres-
Saturday
Andres has been there as
morning
well.
live stream was
Jake, I was
popping
just
off.
texting. I was texting Jake yesterday while I was bricked up. He knew the tequila was flowing. I don't know if he knew why.
Jesus Christ.
It was I've never had a stream start that
If
way.
if I had like a penny for every time someone told me that.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, I guess that's we'll transition to our first topic. So it is the month of love. It is obviously Valentine's month here, at least in the United States. I actually don't know what the rest of the world celebrates, to be completely honest, but hey, this is where I grew up. And so a nice topic that Sabrina actually suggested is talking about why we maybe love Nintendo.
What was the first sexual feelings you ever had toward a video game character?
You went
God.
straight dirty.
Yes,
All
he
right,
did.
you dirty bird.
I don't see that in our talking point question list, but
Sorry. Oh, I misread it. Sorry, typo.
I don't
mean,
you,
we
think
can
I
you,
answer
had
the
you want me to give a
question if
serious?
you
I might have a
want, but-
serious answer. I got to think hard about
Mine
it.
would be Final Fantasy characters all day.
I'm
Well, what a
really
surprise.
trying to
It was
wrap my head
You,
around.
you jumping over to Sony side? No, not a surprise there.
When I was
Princess
a,
Zelda. from
when I was
N64.
younger, when I
Trying to
was
figure
like
out that one out. I
a
was
young
really
teenager, I had the biggest crush on Steven Stone from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. I had the hugest
Oh.
crush on
Mm.
Steven Stone.
The white
Like-
hair does it for you, huh?
Yeah. Sure do.
Well,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
be honest.
Pokemon. I will say Cynthia. Yeah.
Oh, Cynthia's a
I was
good
a-
choice.
Look,
Yeah,
look,
she's
I
had
was
my
I was a
number.
pre-team when I was finally introduced to Zero Suit Samus, and that was just all I needed.
That's what you need.
all I needed
Hey
back
man,
then.
I mean,
honestly, my
Steven
daughter
Stone?
only swings one way, but even I got the hots for Cynthia. So I'll give you that.
Steven Stone is the definition of bricked up. Hard as a rock, uses only steel types, hard as steel. Like he is.
I
Sorry.
used to have the biggest crush on the guy.
Jeez. All right.
used to?
That would be
Used to-
my Valentine. Well, I mean, I'm an adult now, so no.
No. Might be a little careful. They didn't quite age in universe the way that we did.
I
No.
will say.
Right.
this isn't one of my
Actually, he's
first
one of
crushes.
the few that is actually an adult. So,
So you
True.
see, you're in the clear. What are you worried about?
hey, man.
Andres
Tastes
is going to be
change.
Xenoblade.
Back
I mean,
then,
I
I could have
understand-
done that.
I understand.
do have to bring up Pyra and Mithra. I mean, they are
Okay, sure.
the cool-
Pyramithra, sure.
they are my mains in Smash.
I mean,
Brothers.
look,
They
if
are
we're
the
gonna
best.
start, look, from my adult age, if you're gonna bring up Pyramithra, I'll just bring up Sia from Hyrule Warriors. I'm just saying, no one else is gonna agree because none of you guys played the game, but it's okay.
Oh God, what's her name in Tears of the Kingdom?
It is so good. Purah? Are you thinking of Purah?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Have you
Purah?
seen
Yeah,
the
she
mods?
grew the hell
No.
up quick in
This
Tears
guy-
of
Have
the
you
Kingdom.
seen the mods?
Okay,
No.
tell me it's Purah from Tears of the Kingdom. And
Yes,
not-
from Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay,
yes.
okay, good.
Wait,
good, good,
what
good,
other
good,
Purah are
good,
we
good.
talking
Good,
about?
No, the
good,
Breath of
good,
the
good.
Wild one.
Oh God!
That's what
I
I'm
said
bringing.
Tears of the Kingdom
I
before.
mean,
exactly where my
I'm gonna have to
brain
get up
went.
the
He's
censor
actually
button.
like over
I
100
was
years
like,
old.
wait a
but-
minute.
Whoa
Wait
now.
a damn minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
What?
Actually, you know what? As Panmonhas brings up in the chat, the Great Fairy from Ocarina of Time is the first time I was asking questions. I'll say that.
Not from
Well,
Ocarina of
wait.
Time.
Yeah, dude, that's a little.
She got a
Are you
big
sure about that?
Wait, no. You misinterpreted what I said. I'm not saying that was my crush. I'm saying that's when I started asking questions.
Oh,
Like-
it is. It
Oh,
probably.
okay.
Yeah, it is confusing. It's a little traumatic.
Yeah, like
Jeez.
The
I
only
was.
question I had is, are they actually triangles? And I was just told sometimes.
I think I was mostly just wondering why Nintendo greenlit that. Like I don't know how that was
Dude.
okay.
The fairies in Ocarina of Time are terrifying.
There's so many people
Yeah.
googling right now.
Yeah.
Damn it.
We're starting a
Terrifying.
trend. We're starting a new trend. All right.
Oh God, my
This
brain
was
went.
supposed to be a
My
wholesome.
brain went
segment.
off the rails real far and went the flower in Conker's bed for a day.
The flower.
yeah.
Holy
Uh-uh.
Christ.
Yeah, that was on my
Whoa.
mind.
Look, Eric, I
Whoa.
have
I
some
love it here.
serious questions now. We're in the same room. I might go to the other side.
All right,
That's
Nintendo
the other
is
side
the
of the
only
desk.
one that hasn't given
camera's
us
turning
given us
around.
an answer.
Oh, lick a tongue. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was weird. man.
You're
Yes.
the real dirty bird.
All right, now
There
everyone,
it is.
everyone, your favorite Pokemon, Dibs Gardevoir. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Armand, all day.
Oh God.
How do you feel about Licky
Nasty.
Licky?
Oh,
You're
geez.
nasty.
Yeah, it's trying to be a wholesome segment, but you know what? Here's the problem. The very first question said, "What's the first game that got us hooked?" And Jake just took it the complete wrong.
I love how
way.
everyone answered too. That was awesome.
Of
Is
course,
there
we all
anything
have
else beyond
answers.
beyond the Pokemon?
You got to go with the flow.
Creature Nintendo Talk that you would like to bring up?
Wait, what?
You suggested there was something else beyond Lickitung.
Oh, Jesse. Team Rocket.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah,
All right.
okay.
So
All
he's into bad broads. I see.
I've seen
You
weird
like the redheads? I
Jesse and
get it.
Lickitung on the
And
internet.
before someone say
So
that's
it's
an
weird
anime
that
character,
you went
she's
there, then
in
there.
Pokemon Yellow. So
Yeah, she is.
Mhm.
She is in
She-
Pokemon Yellow. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good taste, Nintendo. Good taste.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna actually save the why we love Nintendo overall question for the final part. We're gonna go through this list, and we're gonna start with what's the first game that got us hooked and wanting to try more Nintendo games. Who wants to go
Pokemon.
first? Jason, go straight up Pokemon. What gen? Was it Gen 1, Gen 2? What are we
Oh,
doing?
Gen 1, literally, when I was in like second grade, like every kid on the block had a Game Boy Color. We were all playing, trading, using the link cables. Everyone in school had it, then they got banned from school. But that was, in terms of Nintendo, that was the big one.
Okay, I want to answer next.
All right, you go ahead, Sabrina.
Because mine is Pokemon Silver, specifically Pokemon Silver, because my stepdad had some neighbor kids and they were my age and they were both girls, and they actually let me play their Game Boy Color because I was the poor kid who didn't ever have a Game Boy to play on the playground or any video games or anything like that. Like, I was the one that was always like, what are y'all doing? I want to see, like, can I play for like 5 minutes? And they would always be like, no, get out of here. So I had a bunch of hype built up for Pokemon because everybody else was playing it and I didn't get to. And the first time I played Pokemon Silver, it was like hooked. I wanted to play it all day, every day. I only got to play about like 4 hours of it. But then after that, it was like crack cocaine. I needed more.
Can I piggyback off that a little bit, and then you can talk more? if you want?
Yeah.
I remember the kids that lived across the street from me during all that Gen 1 hype. They spoke Japanese and they got Silver in Japanese like
Oh,
way
that's
before it ever came out here. And they like let me play it also. And they would translate for me. Like I didn't need to know much, but I was like in the mart. I was like, all right, what's Pokeballs? That's all I need to know how to
Oh.
buy. Like, so
That
yeah,
is
so, like
wholesome.
I
I
would
like
figure out
that.
like which moves did damage and just like keep playing it. They let me play it a lot, but yeah, it was that was awesome. But yeah, continue. You just triggered that
Oh.
core memory for me.
Oh no, that's really it. It's just I had so much hype built up around Pokemon and I never got to play it. And then the first time I did get to play it, that is what got me hooked on Nintendo for sure. So that's my origin story.
Same. Also, Super Mario World and the boy.
All right.
Oh
well,
no.
You're just not allowed to tell your story today.
cool.
I guess I'll.
Oh no, he's back. He's
Oh,
back. You wanna-
he's back.
Yeah, no. It's okay. I go to the next. I'm getting excited. All right, I'm getting excited for
All right.
Nintendo. All right. Who
I
let me
actually,
have fun?
I actually want to.
whoa.
I want to
What?
follow up just because I mean it's I'm gonna mention two things, right? But because like I'll just say because you were talking about Pokemon Silver. Like I remember when my dad had a Game Boy and I remember he had Tetris and there's you know the board game Scrabble, there was a Scrabble version on Game Boy. But as a kid I would always I thought it was called Scramble, like scrambled eggs. But eventually, I did get my own Game Boy. I got a Kiwi, they're like the lime green, colored Game Boy Color.
Ooh, that one
And I
was
got
nice looking too.
yeah, it was so good. And I got Pokemon Silver, right? So that was like my first Game Boy and my first Pokemon game. And I remember just holding it in my hands at home for the first time. And the
getting
thought I
bricked up.
had, well, kinda. I had the prevalent thought then I had as a kid was like, wow, I can't believe I have this. I feel so lucky. I didn't think I'd be someone fortunate enough to be able to have this. It felt like such a special moment. I was extremely like grateful for it. Like, so, I kind of, I kind of get those vibes of like not having everything, right? But having it was a real
Well,
big thing for me.
and that feeling is like nothing else because I had that exact same feeling when I got the Pokemon Sapphire and a Game Boy Advance for my birthday one year.
Mhm.
And that is exactly what I'm talking about. It's this feeling of like I almost feel like I don't deserve it. And like I'm gonna take good care of it and I'm gonna play the
Yeah.
shit out of it. And this means the world to me. And then you spend like 600 hours playing the same like 3 games over and over again. But the
Yeah.
first time that you start up that Game Boy for the first time and it's yours, it's a feeling that it's not like anything else.
Oh,
What's
for
it called?
sure.
You will spend the rest of your life, kids, chasing that feeling and never having it ever again.
Like chasing the dragon.
But you know what was crazy? Like when we were like nowadays, it's like really hard to like put a lot of time and like keep up with the video games you want to play, right? Like your backlog gets bigger and bigger. And part of it's like a big part of it's because we're adults. We have a lot of other stuff that we're doing. But also, I feel like even kids, like when we were kids, we didn't have phones and like we didn't have like Netflix. Like we could watch whatever was on cable TV. So it was so much easier to like let yourself get sucked into a game and have that consume you. And I feel like even like obviously as adults we don't do that, but even kids today, I feel like don't quite get it. And I mean, some do for sure, but like it's not exactly the same. Like that was a really special time, I think.
Oh, I agree. It's just the product of the times, right? Like, information is just readily available now. And so there's pros and cons to that, right? Like we can, if left, we can research whatever we need to. Most of us don't, but we can, right?
Right.
And so
Yeah, I
that's a
missed like the
fantastic thing.
playground rumors and stuff. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean exactly. Like there was like all these myths that we were like,
Yeah,
oh, like
playground rumors like the Mew under the truck, or
Right,
if you do something with the Moss Deep Space Station, you can find Deoxys and stuff like that. Like it was all
Yeah.
lies, but it was so fun. It was so
Missing
intriguing
No.
to go do it for
That was a
yourself.
good
Yeah,
one.
Well,
Missing
Missing No
No.
is real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Missing
yeah.
No was
Yeah.
real. But I
for
was too
years,
scared.
for years.
And that's the thing. There would be one that would be real, so then you'd want to test out all the other things
Like
that you
L
were
is
told.
real. L was real.
Yep.
L was real. I remember from Mario 64, like there were so many different stories I was told about it. One being you can find Luigi, right? Which was always crazy, but there was this one that was definitely fake, where because when you get to the end of the game, you can unlock Yoshi on the rooftop, right? When you talk to Yoshi, he gives you a whole bunch of lives, and then he jumps off the castle in the direction of the waterfall. And so, as a kid, I would always try and follow him and try to go through the waterfall. And you can't actually get into the waterfall, but I would spend hours just trying to find a way to jump in and through the waterfall. And the thing is, though, there is a level that has you coming out the waterfall, right? And so I'll go back to that level to try and find Yoshi, because supposedly if you can catch Yoshi, it unlocks a whole other game. Which that's the myth part. But I spent so many hours on that, which is just kind of funny. But anyways, like back to your point, Jake, like it's interesting kind of thinking about how times have changed, right? Because to your point, like we don't have access to the internet. We don't have access to our phone. We didn't have access to our phones all the time. So a lot of it's kind of left more for our imagination.
And we were lucky
yeah,
to have
yeah.
access to like a guidebook or something.
wasn't-
Like
it
that
wasn't
was
So
lucky.
cool.
I didn't even
I love the
mean like
guidebooks.
just for like learning how to do stuff and looking stuff up. I meant just like as a distraction. Like it's so easy to just like start watching a ton of YouTube videos or just like go on your phone.
Our
and
attention spans suck now.
social media. Yeah, like it's so easy to just get distracted. Like, dude, like I'll sit down and want to play a game, and then I'm like, 3 hours will go by and I've just been like looking at my phone. And I'm like, what the hell? That happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to piggyback off all of this, basically, like you got to think. I mean, Pokemon is my answer too, but like you got to think it's the '90s. You got the show that just came out. You got all the merchandise. Like all your friends are playing it. My big moment was my neighbor because I didn't have a N64 for a while, but he had an N64. Dude, Pokemon Stadium like changed my life. Like the announcer, like you felt like you were in the anime. You were seeing Pokemon 3D for the first time, like in a video game. And that to me was it. And then I found out you can connect your game to it and transfer your Pokemon. Like that was crazy.
Playing the original games at 3 times speed in the Dodrio Tower, that's what's up. And then you could like grind so fast, like level. I mean, that was awesome.
You said Lickitung earlier, and now all I can think of is the Lickitung sushi mini game. Yes, that was so fun. That was my favorite one. And I
honestly feel that like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, the Ekans ring toss was fun.
It's the best time period in human history in terms of games, music, the movies are awesome. Like there's so many types of movies that they don't even make anymore because they've just been like there was all those movies like for kids, you know, like Blank Check and like those Disney movies and stuff. They don't make shit like that anymore because they just make all superhero movies.
Yeah,
like
Big Fat Liar.
The target audience that would have liked those. And like I love Marvel and stuff, but like I want the variety, you know. But like Sabrina knows, like you saw, like I was at that concert like last weekend.
Yeah,
and it was like all like pop punk, like Blink-182, like
the throwbacks.
41.
Yes, take me back.
I'm just thinking of you getting hit by a giant axe and getting knocked over. That's all I can think about when I look at you right now.
But Nintendo is a core part of like that 90s experience.
Yeah,
I watched Jake get bricked up in real life. He sent me a video last night. It was quite entertaining.
Oh yeah, I went to this place where I had to like dodge these like pendulum like axes.
And he got wrecked.
Kind of like a real life video game. Yeah, I kind of got knocked by the last one.
You were doing so good. Then he got to the end, and you're like, I forgot what coordination is anymore.
I almost fell, but then I just pushed myself off the axe.
So what about you, Eric? What video game was it that got you into Nintendo?
That would be Mario Kart 64, Mario 64, kind of that area, and then Pokemon Red and Blue. But
Mario Kart 64 was like the best game to play with your friends. That was the like quintessential friend game to play. You get everybody over, all four controllers plugged in.
We played a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, I had the NES. I mean, we did play a ton of it, but like,
but that wasn't what
really got me hooked. Was like for Christmas one year, my parents rented us a 64, and all of us just sat down and played Mario Kart, and it was an absolute blast. And then,
that's like a core memory right there.
Yeah. Oh, it is. And so that was kind of what got me, hooked into it. And then, then I became friends with you. I don't know, some guy randomly,
Yeah, I had the Game Boy, you had the Game Gear.
Yep.
And then you eventually got a Game Boy.
Yeah, too. I did. But yeah, no, and just to go to Pokemon Stadium, the Sandshrew, the Sandslash digging one.
Oh,
yeah, that one's fun too.
Cheat code ever. You freaking take and you turn your controller upside down, so you're holding onto the middle stick upside down, and then you just rock the controller back and forth, and you destroy everybody because you dig that hole in about 2 seconds. It's like,
wait, Eric, can you show me that motion again?
Right, like that.
Yep,
totally.
Nice.
Hey, you know what? I have a little.
I got you, Jake.
I got you.
Then
you flip it and bring it down.
I have a little something that I want to share with y'all, just because y'all said y'all want wholesome vibes. I want to give y'all a good one right now.
Let's go.
Me and my grandma used to play the N64 all the time. All right. And she used to love
your grandma. That's awesome.
Dude, my grandma. Okay, hold on. I'll finish that point here in a minute. But my grandma was so good at Mario 64 that I was so jealous of her. I wanted her to teach me, like, how did you get 94 stars? Like, how did you do it? And she was just killing it at Mario 64. And that's what we would do. I would get off school, I would do my homework, we would eat dinner, and then we would go straight to the N64 and play Mario 64 and Pokemon Stadium together all night long. And she is one of the main reasons why I stayed into Nintendo games, because it's one thing to play Pokemon Silver once when you're a kid, and it's a totally other story to have a constant positive influence over and over and over again, and make good memories. And she was always, well, she is always a major staple in my gaming story. And now she has a Nintendo Switch Lite, and she has every single solitary Mario game that has ever come out on the Switch. She has all of them,
Nice.
and she has played
You should
through
make
all
a video
of
about your
them.
grandma. That's awesome.
Dude, and she loves Bowser's Fury. She's struggling a little bit on Bowser's Fury, but she loves it so much. She loved Odyssey, and she's been keeping the Nintendo spirit alive throughout my childhood.
She reminds me of like the Animal Crossing grandma.
Yeah. Except that my grandma's a little younger, so she's like, I think she's
I
like
figured.
60. She's like 64 now, so she's on the younger side. She's not quite like as wholesome as Animal Crossing
No, that's
grandma,
still
but she's
cool.
still
Aw.
plenty wholesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. So for me, I've been thinking long and hard about this because it was like the first game I ever played, but that didn't really get me hooked. I honestly think I don't know if I told the story on the podcast, but I definitely told it on a live stream before. So Zelda's my favorite franchise of all time, and what got me to start playing all these Nintendo games was I was in elementary school, and I didn't have a Game Boy. We had like an NES in the house, and I think maybe a Super Nintendo, but I just didn't really. The Super Nintendo was new, and I didn't really know what was going on. It was mostly my dad's at that time. So I saw somebody playing a game that looked very, very interesting to me in front of me on the bus, and I asked him if I could play it, and he said no. And I then said, "Pretty please, just until you get, you can have it back." And he said no. Well, I got mad. I punched him in the face. I took his Game Boy.
Jesus.
Some
people never
in
change.
the Game Boy. Yeah, it was a bully move. I know. Now this is Boss Hog in 90s. I don't know what the hell I was doing. Anyways, I took it home, and it was Link's Awakening in there. That night, I almost beat Link's Awakening. I did not sleep. I was having so much fun playing Link's Awakening. Very next day, I gave the kid his Game Boy back. Said sorry. Surprised he didn't tell on me. I don't know. Tattletaling was like not a thing back then. You just didn't tell on people.
No snitching.
Yeah, no snitches. Snitches get stitches. I don't know. He might have
Not
needed
in the
stitches
britches.
after I punched him.
Yep.
I have no idea. But I gave him his Game Boy back. And again, bully mode, really bad. If you want to know, I got really bullied later in life. I feel like it was karma for that moment. So I just accepted it. You know what? Duct tape naked under a bench in high school. Yeah, okay. I punched a kid in the face and took his Game Boy.
Wait,
That's
what
fair.
the fuck?
That's fair.
But Zelda was worth it.
But
Zelda
anyways,
was
over
worth
that?
Link's Awakening. The moral of the story is Link's Awakening is the game that made me go, huh, this is kind of cool. So then my parents finally got a computer, or my grandma did, I think a year later, with dial-up internet. I type in Link's Awakening, find out, oh, Nintendo. What the hell is Nintendo? And then from there, I started to explore, oh, they got all these other games. So then I'm like, oh, wait, we have like a Nintendo. We have some of this at home. I've just never really played it. So then I started playing Duck Hunt and Track and Field on the NES. And then Hogan's Alley. That was also published by Nintendo.
Hogan's Alley.
And next thing you know, I'm just hooked on like anything Nintendo has, I'm playing it. If it says Nintendo seal of quality on there, I am all over it. And then I got into third-party games, but it's such a weird story that, like, okay, I was a bully and it was bad. This is a bad thing. I probably shouldn't say this, but also, and guys, it was like, I'm 38. That was like 33 years ago. I'd like to think I've grown up a bit since then.
See, kids, bullying isn't that
Well,
bad.
and
Bullying isn't that bad. It lets
every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah. To be
Yeah.
fair, that kid went on and he's actually like a CTO at a huge tech company right now. So good for him.
Good for
Nice.
him.
But,
I actually even know that is weird. I have no
You
idea. Like,
realize- you realize
anyone
my
I went
cla-
to kindergarten with, I do
On
not
the
know what
restart,
they're
my
doing now.
class size was 52
Yeah, I was gonna
people. We
say.
all knew each other.
Yeah.
Oh, you said yeah. I
Yeah,
grew up in-
52 people. We all knew each other.
I live in the
Yeah,
big
I-
city apparently.
We all got Facebook at the same
Mhm.
time. We all added each other. Yeah, we all know what's going on for the most
Okay.
part.
Interesting.
So welcome to small town Wisconsin.
Yep.
Plus, I went to a private school, not the public school. So literally, you just know everyone. You know everyone in every grade.
I got the
Anyways,
best of both worlds.
yeah,
I get to know everybody from both schools because I went to both.
there you go. Anyway, so that led to my love. Link's Awakening did, and obviously Zelda became my favorite franchise after that because I started to discover that there was other games like the original Legend of Zelda and Into the Past and Zelda 2 and all that. And I didn't own all the Zelda games when I was younger, but we rented. Blockbuster was a very
Ooh,
big
Blockbuster.
moment. The moment I
Love
started getting allowance is the moment I
love
started saving it
Blockbuster.
to rent from Blockbuster almost every weekend. It was great. So
Rented
Yeah.
Jet Force Gemini several times.
Link's Awakening is my story. And yes, Pokemon was a huge part as well. I know you guys keep talking about it. Dude, Gen 1, Gen 2 Pokemon, the TCG game as well. Like I rocked all of those on Game Boy. Those were very much like favorites to play back
Oh, the
then.
trading card game on Game Boy was
Yeah.
sick.
It's
Oh,
on
the trading
NSO.
card
Oh,
game.
yeah.
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 The
We
trading
bought it
card
back at NSO. It's a few times I turned the
NSO.
NSO app on just
I
to,
Yeah.
just
loved
to,
it.
So
just
good.
to have a little reminiscing with the trading card game.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
So what actually like I think cemented because like I play I think I'm trying to remember the timeline. I think they were all probably within a couple of years of each other. The Pokemon Silver moment. I my first memory of a Nintendo game is actually I mean it was on the Super Nintendo. It was TMNT, right? But that that wasn't like a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
But that's like literally like one of my first memories. I was born 91, right? That the early 90s was a Super Nintendo era. So I literally have memories from like when I was like 2. But anyway, the game, Mario 64 was a big deal. I remember that. But I think the moment, like the cementing moment, like that has like permanently has kept me as a Nintendo fan forevermore. It was for my birthday. I was given Ocarina of Time, and it was at night. All the lights are off. The only light was the glow from the television. You hear the music. You hear the galloping of Link on his horse. You hear kind of like that moment, that opening. Yeah, you all know what I'm talking about. The opening to Ocarina of Time. I just like I saw this magical experience. I was like, oh, this is the I didn't use the word quintessential when I was I don't know how old back then.
I wouldn't doubt it. The way you talk.
I was just that I just knew that this was it, and it just sucked me in.
Yeah. I feel that.
That's awesome, man.
I remember the first time I played Ocarina of Time. I didn't have a N64, but I wanted one so bad. But we had a PlayStation. So I play N64 at my friends' houses. But the first time I played Zelda, we were visiting my cousin in Michigan. He was like 17 and I was like 9 or 10. And he like let me play Zelda. I remember he was like downstairs by the pool table and I was like trying to see if I could go into his room and play his N64. And he was with this girl and I was like, oh, like, hi, who's this? And he was like, this is just one of my hoes. Like
How
right
old
in
is
front
he?
of her. And
How
I
old
didn't
is
know
he?
what that meant. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, okay, can I just go play Zelda? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And
Wow.
then I like literally, like, I didn't want him to go to bed because I just like was glued to the TV playing it for like hours and hours. I got stuck too, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I kept trying to ask him for help, but he was busy. But that whole weekend, all I would do is just like sleep and then go play Zelda. Have you guys
So
seen
cool.
the I Think You Should Leave season 3 where he's like, I feel like Ronnie's only here for the zip line. And like the guy like just keeps going and using the zip line over and over. It's like a spoof of The Bachelor. That was me, except with Ocarina of Time.
That's interesting. It's kind of cool thinking back to like when we were kids because I remember I had similar moments, right? Like, but on the other side, right? Like, because I didn't have a PS1, but I would see people with PS1s or like Sega Saturns, and they're like, "Oh, what's that? I want to play that." right? Like it was so curious. Like I'm still not
Dude,
sure
there was
which
like the
Final.
forbidden fruit, the console that you didn't have that your friend had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like I guess for me, like I just thought it was cool, right? There wasn't like, oh, ill PlayStation, oh, ill. So, like there's like that whole fanboy thing. Like it's just interesting me thinking back to when I was a kid. Like that didn't exist. It was just, oh, this is a cool thing. I want to try it out.
And then
so
trying to
maybe
drag your friends into it too. But good
Maybe-
luck, because half of the time they didn't go for it.
yeah, I still try to drag my friends and family to things I like. It doesn't work always. Although I have gotten a lot of people to become anime fans.
Okay. We
So-
had somebody wanted us to expand this one a bit and just say
I'll make a
young-
good T-shirt.
how young were we when we played our first Nintendo game?
I think I was like 10.
I was
No.
3.
That was the first. We were talking about the first Nintendo game that got us hooked.
Nintendo system or published title?
Just any Nintendo game.
Because I played the Super NES when I
Published
was
title.
really young.
Same here.
Punch
like
Out with
6
my.
or
I was 3
7.
years old. Punch Out. Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
I don't know.
Punch Out was fun.
Yes.
Punch Out was
still.
really fun.
Yeah. I also this isn't going to come up probably the rest of the time, but like track and field back in the day
yeah.
when you would do the sprinting, you put the pencil between the A and B button just like this, and you just
Nah,
dominate.
tennis back in the day was the best one.
Tennis.
Or the one
No,
with the pad
tennis
where you-
was the best.
Dude, we haven't even talked about Mario Party in the N64 when you would like people would like burn through their skin.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Right?
Doing, like,
Yeah,
the-
they had
Oh,
to issue a
trying to play the
warning. They
mini
released
game?
official- they
Nintendo
released
would
official
send you
Nintendo
gloves in the
gloves.
mail, like official
Gloves, yeah.
ones, like because they didn't want to get
because
sued.
they lost a lawsuit on it, so they had to
Right.
get those gloves out.
Oh,
yeah.
it was because they got sued. Okay,
Yeah,
got
it's
it,
because
got
of the lawsuit. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
it. Yeah.
All right. So now we talked about some old school stuff. Let's flip it to the modern day. This is Switch era. What game did we love the most during the entire Switch era? I guess we should say so far, because who knows? Maybe your favorites have to come.
Dragon Quest Builders 2.
There we go.
Really? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, people,
Mine-
the regulars here know that that's my thing.
Super
I
underrated.
won't go off on a huge tangent. I'll let everyone else talk first, but that is still.
Nintendo Talk. I want to know what yours is.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say Zelda because I feel like some other people will say Zelda, but I'm gonna go ahead and say a
if it's
weird
your
one.
favorite.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Arms. And here's the thing about Arms. okay?
Yes.
Here's the thing about Arms. There's a lot of people who got like a Switch maybe in 2020 or like later or something like that. But dude, if you were around when the Switch first came out, the Arms hype was real, and the Arms like test punch, and when the game came out, like everything felt new, especially since Nintendo was taking a leap forward with the Switch. And yeah, Arms was just like kind of a weird game. They introduced new characters. It was a brand new experience. There was still motion control, but you could use a Pro Controller. I think Arms was great. I don't know if they'll ever go back to it. I think it sold pretty well, but then again, it was like one of 6 games that were out. But I remember that time. I like when they do those test things. They did like a Splatfest test or something. They did like a Mario Tennis one. I don't know. Arms is like iconic, drilled into my brain from that time.
Do you think we're ever gonna get legs?
Maybe?
Dude, I thought there was a chance when the Switch
The leg
Sports
strap?
came out with the soccer strap.
Yeah.
Just 2 of those puppies. You got legs.
You'd be burning a lot of calories.
But besides
Oh,
that, I would say Animal Crossing. Definitely.
Yeah, that one is mine, and I am biased because I have been playing Animal Crossing since the GameCube days. I have played it on the DS Lite. I played Wild World, I played City Folk, I played New Leaf, and then when New Horizons came out, of course, I had to get it. And it's just the one game that I always come back to. Every single time I'll step away from it for a little bit and I'll go do something else, because you can experience burnout. I think that a lot of people experienced burnout from Animal Crossing. It was 2020 when it came out. COVID was in full effect. We couldn't see our friends, we couldn't see our families, and it was kind of something that united us, and then Doom came out not long after. So then there was like
It
this
was like 2
harmony
weeks after
between
COVID. It was like 2
yeah.
weeks after COVID hit. It was crazy.
And
Mhm.
so like Animal Crossing and Doom fans like kind of united there for a minute, and that was really cool. And
Yep.
but you know, but I know a lot of people stopped playing it after a little while, and that's understandable. I don't knock anybody for having their preferences and for not sticking with it, but I can always play Animal Crossing. I can play it when I'm having a good day, I can play it when I'm having a bad day, I can play it when I'm just feeling creative, or I can play it just because I have time to burn. And it is a lifelong staple of gaming for me, and it will always be in my favorites unless they do something really stupid with it, but I don't think that they will.
Yeah,
So
they would
I'm
never do like
just
Amiibo Festival or anything.
the Amiibo Festival was so bad. But yeah, no, Animal Crossing on the Switch, New Horizons has to be my favorite because I don't even know how many hours. I probably 1,000 hours into that game.
Got 2,500.
Oh my
Dang.
god, damn.
Yeah.
It's good
It's
though.
almost like
It's
for a
so
while
good.
it was like your entire YouTube career.
Yeah.
All right. I know I said I wouldn't, but I just gotta say the reason I like Dragon Quest Builders 2 so much is because it's like Zelda, Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom mixed with Animal Crossing.
hmm
And a lot of people look at it and think it's like Minecraft, and it's nothing like that. It's much more like the other two games. It's basically like a full open world Zelda, but it actually does a lot of things way better. And then Tears of the Kingdom, many of their improvements were just directly taken from Dragon Quest Builders 2. And a lot of Dragon Quest Builder 2 ideas, they took some from like Breath of the Wild too. So it's like kind of like they were like feeding each other to become these better games. But like it's so cool because you can recruit like villagers and you get like 3 different islands and you can build anything you want. And unlike Animal Crossing, where it's like you have a template and you just decorate the outside, like you can customize everything.
Well,
so
I want to check that one out. You
I
have me.
put-
You've sold
I put
me.
over 1,000 hours into that. Like it's so fun and addicting, and it's just like pure joy. So like, and the only reason I talk about it so much, I'm not trying to be like, oh, like your taste like sucks. Like if you don't think this is the best game, it's just because no one really played it. Because like they
Mhm.
take a look at it and think they know what it is, and
They
so
think
I
it's
will
like
never.
Minecraft meets Dragon Ball.
Yes, and like there is some Minecraft, but I do not like Minecraft. And if you like Minecraft, no offense to it, I just can't get into it because one of the things I need a story, I need a purpose to what I'm
Mhm.
doing, and Dragon Quest Builders does that. You don't have to like build in it if you don't want to. It'll give you like templates for stuff that you need to build.
I like the first one. The first one was really good.
Dude, the second one is so much better.
Mhm.
There's so much quality of life that just make I would actually say don't play the first one, just play the second one. But
So,
sorry, go
so
ahead.
like, as far as that is concerned, like, if I did want to get it, which I might, because as soon as I'm done with Engage, I'm going to be looking for something else. So if I do decide to get it, do you think that it's something that somebody like me would go back to time and time again?
I really, really do. I think most people that like Animal Crossing would probably like it, but especially if you also like the kind of games like Pokemon, like both RPGs and stuff. Like it's an RPG, like for sure. But it's like the combat's like Zelda, like like hack and slash kind of, but you level up, and yeah, it's just like it's so good.
It is fun.
Heck yeah. What about you, Andres?
Well, I mean, my favorite Switch game is Breath of the Wild. So
Yeah.
to me, it's the greatest game ever made. So
And you're
to
justified.
me, my opinion. Don't attack me. Don't be like, oh, the story's terrible. There's no dungeons. Oh my god.
It's also your opinion that it counts as a Switch game.
I think it's
It is also
highly
my
I think
opinion,
it's
yeah.
highly reasonable to think that Breath of the Wild is your favorite. I know that people are going to gripe, but I think that is totally reasonable and understandable.
Isn't
No,
it
any
kinda
any
wild,
game,
though,
it's reasonable to be your favorite.
It's kind of
Yeah.
wild,
You don't
though,
gotta
right?
hate.
Like that a game that is more liked than most other games is debated. Like, oh, how could that be your most liked game? But that's just because it's so popular. People have opinions on it. But yeah, I mean, Breath of the Wild was a really special moment. Yeah, it was also a Wii U game, but I played it on Switch, and it was a magical experience. So, I mean, if I were to maybe bring up a game that is only for Switch, right? Like that's tough because there's a lot of really good ones. You got Forgotten Land, Metroid Dread, just to name a couple that were like really special. Mario Odyssey, I mean, that's literally
Yeah, that's a good one.
that's a big one.
That's a good one right there. Sorry.
No,
Oh,
it-
come on,
Yeah.
look it up.
it is a
We
good
need
one.
more of
Who is
that.
She should come out more.
Y'all, the more y'all see me, the goofier it's gonna get because I'm a dork ass.
You'll fit
So,
right in then.
I love it. That's
I
why
bring
you're
out
the
the Southern
perfect fit.
accent sometimes too, and like sometimes no one says anything, and then Nate like out of nowhere is like 10 minutes in, and he's like, "Why are you doing that?"
Eric, hey Eric,
Yeah.
can you please stop talking so
I'm sorry.
much? Because
I'm
like
sorry.
we would really like
There it
it
is.
if you would just tell us what your favorite Switch game is. But you've been talking this
Ooh,
whole
I'll just want
time.
to say one more, just to like mention
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
lesser known
Yeah.
game. It's still somewhat known, but Celeste. I have put so many
Oh,
hours into
Celeste.
Celeste. The game
So good.
I was completely lost in. The music sucks you in. Like if you like playing platformers and if you're also a masochist, this is literally the game for you. Because
It's
you will die
also great.
incessantly.
Like I love games like that where the focus is on the gameplay, but there's a subtle story that really adds to the whole experience.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
love that.
I mean, its
Katana
gameplay is a
Zero is another
metaphor.
Switch game that's like that.
Which one?
Katana Zero,
I haven't played it.
Devolver Digital, amazing game.
Oh,
It's good.
That's gonna be good then.
All right, shut up, Eric. I'm just joking.
She's already her
That's
second
it.
episode in. She's like, I
No,
run this shit.
I'm
Road-
actually super curious because I know that you've been playing a lot of Zelda lately, and
Yeah.
so one might guess that that's your favorite Switch game, but I don't know. So I'm
actually
really
don't know what his
curious.
favorite is.
It is, but at the same point in time, that's the easy answer. And
Okay,
so
that's
I'm gonna
enough.
go with I'm gonna
No,
go
go.
with
Go ahead.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Ooh.
Yes.
There you go.
Shut up,
I
movie
played-
talk.
Wait, I
Yeah,
think we
yeah,
talked
out of
about
that
it
game.
before, but did you play Sparks of Hope and did you like it not as much?
I did not like it as much.
Okay.
I liked it a lot, but I didn't like it as much.
Have you played all the DLC yet?
No,
Okay, I think
I
the
gotta go
DLC is
back
almost
and-
better
I
than the
gotta-
base
well,
game. Yeah.
they brought back the musical,
Yeah.
so
It is amazing.
I gotta go back.
It is amazing.
I gotta go back.
Anyways.
The music battle in the first one.
It's
Oh,
phenomenal.
This is one of the best boss fights, I think, period.
Yeah, I
Just for
honestly
its
agree. Yeah.
creativity. Yeah.
Although the Great Mighty Pooh is
The Great
pretty
Mighty Pooh's
goddamn
another
good.
good
No,
one.
sorry.
Yeah, the Great Mighty Pooh. Sorry.
So I got a question that might start something here for Andres. What
Oh,
do you like
okay.
better about
Okay.
Breath of the Wild than Tears of the Kingdom? I'm sure you've
Oh,
said this a million
shit.
times, but like,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, so that I think it's a good question to ask, and the truth is, I'm not sure. Because part of me kind of views them as one giant game.
mhm.
So that's it's kind of a cop out, I guess you could say, right? But I mean, it is a direct sequel, so there is a lot of that, right? But also the thing is, for Breath of the Wild, I wasn't convinced it was my favorite game at first. It took time. Like over time, I realized just how rooted it was in me and how I can love just going back and getting lost in that world. And so with Tears of the Kingdom, it's too fresh for me
Mhm.
to like feel. So I don't feel like I can appropriately assess it and kind of gauge where I actually rank it. I may be able to better do that a few years from now. But I think if I were to make a prediction, I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to say Tears of the Kingdom. I grew to love it more over time, the same way I did Breath of the Wild. But I do kind of see both games as just like pieces of each other, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
Yeah,
I
no.
will say, like when I played Breath of the Wild, it was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like I spent
Right from
like
the
10
right from the start,
hours.
Nintendo Talk.
What do you mean?
Like it was amazing, like right from the start.
Oh, right from the start, because like
Interesting.
you went from the Wii U, and the end of the Wii U was really just sad. There was just like a bunch of garbage, and then just starting, with a fresh console and just walking around the Great Plateau. I literally spent like 10 hours on the Great Plateau,
So good.
and
That
I
one
didn't
was
have that
fucking dope.
feeling. That's the only thing I didn't have with Tears of the Kingdom. It's like I've been there, done that. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is my favorite Switch game, but like, I think Breath of the Wild had more of an impact. But I think
Eric, you
besides
have to do with
that,
that.
like,
I mean,
I'm
that
sorry,
might
y'all.
be the what makes the difference though, because it does have more of that freshness factor.
Yeah.
I'm
sure.
sorry. I'm dying watching Nate suffer up there.
He's making himself
So,
suffer.
Bama Hut did the 5 gifted, and I have to do. I usually do Deer's Blood for 5 gifted, but here's the problem: I had the double shot glass in front of me, so I poured a double when it wasn't supposed to be.
Oof.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah, that you
Mm,
know
and I will be
what?
right back.
I'll just take another sip for you.
It's a good thing the very loud Eric is in control.
Thank you, Eric, for being so loud that you frighten all of us into
What's it
submission.
called?
I
It
don't
was
know what's going on.
interesting. Andres, one thing I've always said, and it's this is why it was interesting what you just said in Ten Talk, is like I think a lot of people didn't get Breath of the Wild and then gave up on it, and I was one of those people. And then I went back to it a year later, and what I like really think about it now is that Ocarina of Time was my favorite Zelda game, and I feel like Ocarina of Time hooks you in right away and maintains it for the whole game.
Mm.
And the thing about Breath of the Wild, for me, and I think a lot of people, is it starts like one of the like weakest starts of any Zelda game, which obviously some people don't feel that way. But like for me, it was. However, the longer you play it, it actually exceeds the fun
Mhm.
of Ocarina of Time. And then by the time you finish it, I was like, oh, I actually like this more than Ocarina of Time now. But I feel like a lot of people don't get to that point who feel the same way about the start of the game as I do. And I wish those people would play Dragon Quest Builders too, but also give Breath of the Wild like a full chance.
I agree.
Well, I'll say this: the start of the game on Majora's Mask was definitely crazy for me. Like that, I'm one of those people that likes Majora's Mask better than Ocarina of Time because it was challenging right out the damn gate.
You know, it's interesting, me kind of just thinking about Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, because if I'm not mistaken, right, that how I remember the beginnings for both games, Ocarina of Time kind of starts a little quiet, but it's almost like a quiet confidence, right? And I feel that Breath of the Wild goes for that, a similar style, right? Like a quiet confidence is kind of how it opens up. But then you look at Majora's Mask and Tears of the Kingdom, and those opening sequences are like playable cutscenes, and they get you all riled up really early on. And so it's just kind of interesting how that's how they chose to handle the beginnings for the 2 direct sequels of the games we've gotten.
Heck yeah. What about you, Nate?
I don't even know what we're talking about.
He's
I
over there
literally don't even know what we're
burning
talking
to
about.
death.
After
He
I did
said-
that double shot of Deer's Blood, I just
Your favorite Nintendo Switch game?
Tears of the Kingdom. Look, I know it's the easy answer, but it's literally my favorite game of all time. Look, obviously, I started with Zelda, ending with Zelda. It's I don't really know how to explain why this happens, but every time a major Zelda game drops in it, I thought Eric was leaving for a second. I'm like, what is going on? Every time a major Zelda game drops, it always, for some reason, comes at a very critical point in my life. And this was an interesting one because a lot of other times when Zelda games have dropped, it's always been at like a critical juncture, like the birth of one of my first kids, or relationship problems, or job issues.
It was always there for you.
Yeah, it's kind of like a best friend. Like Eric's my best friend, and this is like my other best friend that's just there for me when Eric isn't. Holding my hand when I needed it with a nice controller in my hand. And it's always just, I know Zelda stories typically aren't that complicated, but for some reason there'd always be a life lesson in the story that would just really hit me at that time. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom was really interesting because it was maybe the least dramatic part of my life in terms of like having major issues, but also I just went as a full-time YouTuber, which was a major decision in my life. And Tears of the Kingdom is essentially why I'm able to still do this. If it wasn't for that game and the attention that my channel got covering it, I probably wouldn't be a full-time YouTuber anymore. Now, this podcast would still be going, but I would be working a different job. So
Yeah,
it
that
kind
rising
of
tide.
and
Rising
that's
tide raises all ships.
And it was
Yeah.
a coincidence, right? You didn't plan going full time because of Tears of the Kingdom. You
no,
planned
not at
full-time for
all.
the circumstances with your life.
Yeah, it was my hours got significantly cut at my job, and I just said, you know what? And then they wanted me. Then right after cutting it, like 2 days later, they asked me to work for free, and I'm like, this is just
My job tries to do the same shit.
one, probably illegal, but two,
Definitely illegal.
and it's not like I had the money to do anything about it. And I'm like, I think I'd quit. And they're like, do you think, or do you know? I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is my 2 weeks notice. Oh, you can just not log in tomorrow. You're good. You're done. I'm like, oh, well, cool. You're done with free labor too. Have a good day.
Yeah.
And so I made the decision then I'm going to attempt full-time YouTube. And I wasn't making the kind of, I was worried. I had a little bit in savings. And the savings kind of carried me the first few months. And then right as I was running out of money, suddenly Tears of the Kingdom just took off for me. I literally had job applications in and turned down interviews because my Tears of the Kingdom videos took off.
Yeah.
But that's not like why it's my favorite game. Like it's just noting that again, another major point in my life, and Zelda actually sort of changed my life and kept me doing something that I'm actually passionate about and very fortunate that I can do for a living. If you think about it, there's actually less than 1% of content creators that actually do it for a living because most don't make it. That's just reality. There's millions of people making videos on YouTube. Less than 1% of them make anything close to even minimum wage.
Stop it. You're scaring me.
Well, that's the thing. It's just one of those things that I'm very appreciative, and I got very lucky and fortunate. And stick with us, Sabrina. You can
Actually,
ride with us with the Switch 2 tide.
Speaking of which, today is actually a pretty important day, not only because it's my little sister's birthday. Happy birthday, sister. I love you.
Oh, I can't. I was going to
and
hit my birthday button, but it won't play over stream. Damn it.
But it's also my channel's birthday too.
Oh,
my channel turned
go.
1 year.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Turned a whole year old.
That's
So,
awesome.
We came a long way in 1 year.
So last year, your sister was having her birthday, and you're like, I think I'm going to start a YouTube channel and celebrate with you.
In your honor. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so
I
you know,
mean,
I'm really bad with dates, so
I
let me
still-
just make this date even more memorable quick.
So the whole thing was that day I did spend time with her on her birthday, but then after
Sure.
that, it took a long time for me to decide that I wanted to do YouTube because I have always been like, I don't know if I want to put myself out there. I'm super nervous, like what if somebody tries to hunt me down? Like what if some crazy shit happens? What if I get really big and then I don't know how to handle it? Or what if I start taking it too seriously? What if I don't take it seriously enough and then my channel never grows and then I fail? And
So
I
you're an
struggle.
overthinker.
I am big time overthinker.
You and Andres could be literally like brother sister right now. He overthinks so much.
I've
So,
already
but
thought
yeah,
through everything.
That's
No.
my secret. I don't think.
um,
That's
but
his
yeah.
key, that's the survival for Jake. Just don't think, do.
but yeah, it took a long time for me to decide that I was going to do it. And I don't know, that day, spending time with my sister, I was in a really good mood. I wasn't overthinking it that day. That day, I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I created the channel, posted my very first video 20 days later, and it's been uphill ever since. So it's been
Awesome.
really exciting. So enough about me, though. This is not my podcast.
No, that's awesome. What's crazy is
Yeah.
your
No, it's
channel
okay.
started the day after Mewtwo's birthday.
You all right?
I have to pause for a moment.
Uh-oh.
She just
My
spilled her beer.
Pokemon
Oh.
cookbook fell over and it
Oh.
spilled my beer.
Oh,
Pokemon, what
Party
are you
foul.
doing? Party
Foul.
foul.
Party
Party
foul.
foul.
She's all being
Party
like,
foul.
we know what happened.
Pokemon, what are you doing? You don't
Yeah.
spill the beer. That's the one thing. Off limits, Pokemon.
And
Damn it.
I saw it sliding this
Where's
whole
Lickitung
time.
when we need them?
It was slowly sliding the whole time. I go to push it back and it just toppled
It's
right
like,
over.
no, we know you're coming. Now we're
So-
just going full send right now.
So I will be back.
All
Sorry.
guys,
I'll be
freak
back.
this
That's
thing out,
all
by
right.
the way.
Do your best.
But no, for me, for like,
Hell yeah.
okay, so no, but beyond obviously what it did in my personal Tears of the Kingdom, just man, I was sitting over here when Jake was talking about Dragon Quest Builders 2 and that Tears of the Kingdom took ideas from it, and I was like rolling my eyes because I played Dragon Quest Builders 2. I'm not nearly the fan that Jake is of it, but I do understand where he was coming from in some of the base concepts and ideas. I don't know that they actually looked at Dragon Quest Builders 2 when they made the game, but you know what? It's okay.
They definitely did.
I don't know about that. The way the building mechanics were is nothing really like Dragon Quest.
I'm not talking about the building mechanics. That's like
the core of the game.
I understand.
Yeah. Anyways, the thing I like about Tears of the Kingdom is, believe it or not, it's not even the building. I haven't made like I've made the 0 crazy builds. I have no mechs, no tanks, no crazy flying machines, no crazy fishing monster boat things that you guys have made. I've seen all that crap out there, and it looks amazing and awesome and very entertaining. I'm not that creative, so that's just not me. But it is cool that you can do that. I've seen calculators get built out of the damn thing. It's crazy what people can do with the building mechanic, especially since it's limited. You can only fuse like 20 things together. So it's insane. But honestly, for the first time in maybe the history of Zelda, it was the story. And the story is controversial. And the story has split the Zelda fan base in like 17 directions. But for me, the story, here's the thing. Tears of the Kingdom has everything I love about Breath of the Wild, which was my prior favorite game of all time. So Breath of the Wild was going to be the answer if we were talking about Wii U, because I don't think it's a Switch game. But but it's okay. It's okay. I understand. Like, without Breath of the Wild was a huge deal for the launch of Switch. You can't tell the Switch story without mentioning Breath of the Wild. That is absolutely true. So I get why you would count it. I also get why some people wouldn't, because it was a Wii U game. That being said, the Tears of the Kingdom basically does everything Breath of the Wild does, except the story is told and given to you in a way that my mind still is blown by it. When I go back and rewatch all the cutscenes, I cry, and it's not like the greatest story ever told, right? Like, just go play Sony games. They have significantly better storytelling in all the Sony games I've ever played. But for some reason, this particular story, and it's probably because it's a continuation, to be fair. Without Breath of the Wild, this story wouldn't be as impactful to me. So it definitely built into the story of Tears of the Kingdom. But the Tears of the Kingdom story just sacrifice. I think that's like one of the big keys to the entire story is sacrifice. Giving up everything for somebody else to do what's right. I'm not going to get into some personal stories in my life. Sacrifice is a huge theme of my entire life.
Well, sacrifice is what defines love, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of fitting.
Hey, hitting deep on the month of love. So to me, it was the story that really, like, man, you get rid of the story, fuck Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, now I have a cat issue I have to deal with.
Something, Nate, actually.
Well, I mean, you can announce whatever you want as long as it's not against YouTube's terms of service.
No. I just want to say that I started a giveaway today on Twitter. I'm giving away 5 4-day badges to go to PAX East.
Ooh.
That is so generous.
Well, they gave them to me to give away. But I mean, actually, yeah. No, it is generous.
Actually, I'm a nice guy.
Just take the compliment.
Yeah, no, I was too slow on that one. I should have. But yeah, so all you have to do is just like the tweet and then comment. It actually goes with today's podcast. Any video game that you're feeling nostalgic for. And I'm going to pick all the winners on Saturday and send you a DM. They require like your first and last name and an email address. So if you win, I'll just DM you. You send me that and I send it to them. And then they email you directly your pass.
Wow.
It's only going to pick you if you put Dragon Quest Builders too.
Nah.
I wouldn't hurt.
Dragon Quest Builders 2, mention that you're also literally have bookmarked onlyfans.com/2inch destroyer.
And you're buried up from it.
Highly
You
recommend
dirty
Google what is
bird.
Charizarding and look at the first result.
What is Charizard? Oh no.
You
Oh no.
nasty.
I highly recommend you don't do that if you're under the age of 18.
You
All right.
nasty.
Don't
do it. It's a trap.
It's a big trap. Please be over 18 before you type that in Google. So this is kind of going a little bit opposite, but kind of relevant. Is there a Nintendo game we thought we would love going in, and then it actually ended up just disappointing us overall?
I have one that isn't.
Fire
So
Emblem Engage?
no, I thought about this one a lot before I came on the podcast. I was going over the show notes and I was thinking about this a lot. And I was like, have I even played a Switch game that I thought I would love and I really just did not enjoy it? And the answer to that is no. But there is actually, yes. Let me say this. Actually, yes. That would be
Pokemon Let's Go.
no. Let's Go was okay. I didn't hate it or anything, and I did get into it. It was fun at the time, but I wouldn't
I
replay
love
it.
Let's Go. I love Let's Go.
But no, that would be Bravely Default. I wanted to like that game so bad. I loved the artwork. I liked the music of it. I tried so hard to get into it, and I don't know why, but I could not force myself to continue playing that game. And it's been a long time. That was back in the 3DS days, so I don't know. Maybe things could be different now. Maybe we could give it another shot. But I remember just really, really, really wanting to love Bravely Default, and I just, for whatever reason, could not. I can't remember why, but I do remember not liking it.
Would you
But
say
the
you,
one that
you bravely defaulted on that game?
I surely
no.
did.
Oh
I
my god.
surely did. But no, the one
Damn
I
it,
was
Jake.
gonna say, the one that I was gonna say is actually not a Nintendo game, but it would be Kingdom Hearts 3. I loved Kingdom Hearts 1 so much. I loved Kingdom Hearts 2 so
2 is
much.
amazing,
I played Chain of Memories. I played, 365 over 2 days or whatever. I played all of the spin-off ones. I was so hype. I played Dream Drop Distance. I played so many of the Kingdom Hearts games. I was so hyped for Kingdom Hearts 3. And then
You
it
think they
came
can save
out.
it with 4?
Do what?
You think they can save it with 4?
No. Unfortunately, I do not think so. And I think it is because when I played through Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like, this is just a bunch of bull crap. Like, I don't know. I was like, this is the same crap over and over and over again.
Well, they
When are we
removed
gonna
what made
get
Kingdom Hearts. They removed the Final Fantasy characters. Why would you do that?
right? So there were no Final Fantasy characters in it, really. I mean, and then it just felt like the same things over and over and over again. I'm just watching a Disney movie and playing through it. Like, I don't feel like I'm part of this world. I don't feel like the characters care about me or like I care about them. This is just the same thing. I'm just doing it in Tangled now. And as much as I love Tangled, I don't want to play a game that is just replaying a
let's-
movie I've already seen 50 billion times, but that's not what got me, because that I can deal with. What got me is that the story just kept getting more and more convoluted, and they weren't tying up any loose ends. They weren't, closing in some of the weird loopholes. The timeline was getting stranger, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just checked out. If y'all aren't gonna start like giving this story some structure, because to me, I've always kind of felt like Kingdom Hearts made up their stories as they went along. Like, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they wanted to go in this direction this time. Okay, that's kind of how are they going to tie that back there, or whatever. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 just felt like Hair of the Dog. It just felt like I've already played this game before, only I'm just getting more and more confused, and I just checked out. I didn't even finish it. I almost cried too, because I was like, I really, really wanted this game to be good.
Damn. It's bad when you cry.
I didn't cry. I did almost, though, because I felt like I was breaking up with an old friend, like Kingdom Hearts has always been such a major staple of my gaming life, and seeing it just it's like a drug addict that doesn't ever heal, doesn't ever get any better. We just keep going back to the same things that make things hard and confusing and not enjoyable. And I was just like, you know what? I'm checking out. I'm checking out this time.
Damn,
I'm
this
not going,
started.
I'm
This
not going
episode
back.
started so hopeful and optimistic, and now we're
Yeah,
just
well,
like,
we're
and
gonna
then
get
when you
back
get
to it.
older, games
Dude,
will
it's gonna
just
come
break
around.
your heart.
It's gonna come around. It's gonna come
Will it?
around.
Blame
Like
me.
for
Yeah.
me, Punch Out Wii. Punch Out Wii.
Ooh.
I was so excited. Motion control Punch Out. I'm all pumped. Game fucking sucks. I'm sorry. You guys might love it. It is everything I didn't want Punch Out to be. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Short and sweet.
Damn.
No long emotional story. Just I love Punch Out. Not for me.
Yeah. The old school Punch Out was good though.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
a lot
about
of a
you?
lot of Pokemon games feel that way for me, but I still end up really enjoying them. It's just they're not as good as what came before, and that's frustrating. So it's not like I play them and I don't like them. Like I probably put over 1,000 hours into Sword and Shield, and like looking back, that's probably one of the weakest Pokemon games ever made.
Mm.
Sword and Shield.
yes.
I can't say that I didn't enjoy it, but it's probably
either.
the Pokemon game that that I enjoy the least out of all of them.
Right, exactly.
alright.
That's what I'm saying. Like Pokemon's like pizza. Like even when it's bad, like if you like the formula, it's still kind of good. And that was also like what I played when I started my channel. So like I'm like grateful to it in a way. Also, that's part of why I have so many hours in it. But
Yeah.
honestly, I will say this to Nintendo's credit, that besides like the Pokemon Company, like really the other platforms make games that I want to like that I end up not liking way more. Like Starfield, for example. Like I wanted to be I wanted to have Skyrim in space and have it be awesome, and I just couldn't. It was a chore to play, and I really haven't had that experience with a Nintendo game in a long time that I can think of.
Yeah. What about you, Andres?
So there's a few different things I could kind of bring up. I have a hard time of thinking of a game that I really wanted to love, and didn't. There's a lot of games that I look at because if for example, like I know I'm gonna like Zelda, I know I'm gonna like Metroid, I know I'm gonna like Mario Kart, right? So it's kind of like I usually buy what I know I'm gonna like. So that amount of games that I try and like, this is not for me. Like it's rare. There are a lot of smaller games I've downloaded over the years. I don't even remember the names for them, right? Like, like the smaller indie games, I'll give them a try. Or there's a third party game that's on sale, I'll give it a try, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll play the first couple hours. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like going back to it, right? But in terms of like maybe known games that I'm like, oh, I really wanted to like this. Nintendo Talk, please don't stop being my friend after I say this, but I really, really, really wanted to get into the hype for Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I put in about 30, 35 hours. I do not think it's a bad game. I think it's a fantastic game for what it is. The problem is, what it is not for me.
It's not your flavor. That's okay. It doesn't have to be your flavor.
And I feel like I'll probably try it again, right? Because Animal Crossing does have like a magical vibe to it, and that cannot be denied. Like it has a Nintendo quality. And I think that's what that has me like still trying. But the fact of the matter is that while it has that Nintendo vibe, there's that magic that makes me want to kind of continue playing in the world. And it feels good when I'm doing it. I'm still doing chores. The game is doing chores, and that just gives me an existential crisis. So like,
isn't that any game though? Kind of like side quests in Xenoblade, they can feel like chores. Like I don't know.
I don't do all the side quests in Xenoblade.
The grindy ones.
You don't have to do everything in Animal Crossing either.
But the thing
you
is,
can find the things about it that you like and do those.
And as much as I love Animal Crossing, and I love it so much. But as much as I love Animal Crossing and Xenoblade, I'm sure that the chores that you do have a payoff. In Animal Crossing, you're doing the chores. You're doing the chores so that you can keep the momentum going.
So you can
That's
get a bigger house.
really
So you can
like,
get better
yeah,
furniture.
like you just That's really all it is. You're not achieving anything by doing these chores
Yeah.
other than just playing the gameplay loop.
Well,
So
in
that's
Xenoblade, there's a lot of side quests, and most of them you don't achieve anything. Some
He's
of them
just
will
trying to
have
trigger
little
me.
side
He
stories.
is trying to trigger me.
unlike most games
true.
where the chores that you do have an instant payoff as soon as the chore is done, in Animal Crossing, the payoff is in the long game. And that's
Yeah.
just the payoff is really just, "Oh my god, look what I did.
And-
Look
and
what
to
I
be fair,
did." Like, look at what I made. Like,
I just
Yeah.
want to be
that's
clear.
the
I'm
payoff.
not criticizing Animal Crossing.
Oh,
I
no,
think
no,
Animal
no.
Crossing
I
is
didn't take it that
amazing.
way.
It's just, it's the what it is doesn't 100% vibe with me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hey,
if-
man,
if
I
you
like
don't
strawberry,
design-
you like chocolate, it's okay.
If you're not
Ain't
big
no
into
hard feelings.
designing, you're not gonna like really appreciate the game. It's definitely like very different from games like New Leaf or even the first Animal Crossing.
Yeah, like you're not saying that it's trash. Like you're
No,
not saying it's like
no, no.
Xenoblade Chronicles
No.
2. Like I get it.
Yeah.
You are
My-
so trying to trigger me.
Hit the trap.
My disappointment
I'm just fucking with you.
is every Paper Mario game since Thousand Year Door.
Okay.
They're
true.
not great. I mean, okay, the writing is always good. They always look good. They always look like nice.
I agree
But
with both of those things.
like the Wii U Paper Mario, the battle system is just awful. The one on the Switch really didn't do anything for me. I'm so excited for people to finally experience like
I didn't hate the
Thousand Year
Switch's
Door.
battle system, but what I hated was there was no incentive. Like you don't like get experience. Like
Yeah.
you don't need the battle. So if there's no point, if you're not like gaining something from it, then why wouldn't you just skip every battle you can?
That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Like
'cause
it's
I
like a
did like
Pokemon game
Oregon.
where you couldn't level up. Like why would
So-
you battle then?
I do want to speak on that actually, right? So I like Origami King a lot actually. I'm hyped for Thousand Year Door for the record. And I do like the Thousand Year Door formula or the original Paper Mario formula or the original Mario RPG formula. But the Origami King, I vaguely remember those details that you're alluding to, but for me, what I remember is that I would like getting into the battles just so I can see if I can pull off better combinations or if I could solve it faster. Like for me, the reason I would battle is for the satisfaction of the battle, right? And then going to Xenoblade, right? I love battling just to see if I can pull off an even higher chain attack combo. Like that's why I do the battles. I don't do it to gain more levels. I do it to see if I can handle the battle system even better than before. And back to Animal Crossing, I will say there is a part of me that wants to complete that aquarium. So
It's so
I may go-
satisfying.
It is
Yeah.
satisfying, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the long game. You have to
Yeah.
play for like a whole year to
I
get
have to
there.
deal with the existential
So-
crisis, and and
Mhm.
actually, you know what? Maybe it's part of that. It's the consistency. Animal Crossing rewards consistency,
Yeah.
and I am just not that responsible.
Daily consistency.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's a
It was-
commitment.
Or
say
time
more-
traveling.
Oh yeah, you can time
Yeah,
travel.
time
yeah.
traveling. Yeah.
A more modern game that kind of disappointed me, and I don't know why, because it's better than I think 2 and the first one is Splatoon 3. Like I love Splatoon 3,
Yeah,
but I just don't go
Splatoon.
back to it for some
I like
reason.
Splatoon 2 better, I think.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm just outgrowing it or they need to change the formula a little bit, but I just
You
don't.
outgrew it.
find
Just
my-
admit it. It's fine.
I might have, which is
I-
scary.
I mean, I don't know. I'll concede I haven't actually even played the Splatoon 3 campaign yet at all.
Oh,
but
it's
I-
good. It's fun.
It is good, yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the you know what it is? I think it's just like the online issues of like drops happening too much because when I've played,
It's bad.
the disconnects happen too often.
Yeah, that is true.
And
And
listen,
that's
I
probably
have
what kept me out.
I have bad internet, so I know exactly how you feel. And it's hard when you're doing well and then you end up getting bumped out. And that
Mhm.
happens if it
I've
happens
had good
too
internet and it still happens. a
Well,
lot.
imagine
Yeah.
when it happens to you, it probably happens to me about 3 times more, and it makes the game damn near unplayable.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen like a proper evolution of the series. Like you go to the first one, the second, like it's the same thing. It's 4v4. There are other modes like Salmon Run and stuff that mix it up, but
Salmon Run
haven't-
is my favorite mode.
Yeah. And I like the new bosses that they introduced in Salmon
So
Run
cool.
too. Like those
Yeah.
were all super cool. I don't know. I think it's just I don't know if it's the new characters or if it's the gameplay or if it's the clothing or if it's just the new stuff not hitting as well as I anticipated or the Splatfests not being as good as I remember them being. Like, I don't know. There's just something about Splatoon 2 that was super memorable and something about Splatoon 3 that doesn't quite fully connect.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I kind of wonder if it's just like it just kind of in part sort of coincides just with like the fresh new launch of the Nintendo Switch, right? Because like when the Switch came out, especially coming off of the Wii U and the 3DS, like there was a lot more excitement early on for a lot of these games, including Splatoon 2. Like we had the Fantasy Pro controller with like it was
Yeah.
it was there was a lot of promise, and I remember just being really in on a lot of Nintendo games, including Splatoon 2. I 100% that game. That was good. I mean, single player wise. With multiplayer, that's a whole other beast. But I definitely put a lot of time in it.
Oh, and the Octo expansion. Oh, that one was good.
Crunchy says in the chat that Splatoon 3 should have been saved for the Switch too.
Oh boy.
Maybe
Well-
Splatoon 4 is closer than we think.
Maybe. Maybe. What about you, Eric?
I'm gonna probably get roasted for this, but I'm also gonna preface mine with I've only played it once, and it was kind of in a time crunch to kind of get a feel for it for the podcast. But Mario Wonder, I love Mario games. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know
You
why.
fucking piece of shit.
I know, right? Right?
Eh.
But like I said, I've only played it once. I was trying to get into it for the podcast, just get a feel for it. I don't know what it is. I just couldn't get into it for right now. I mean, I got to go back to it and play it. Maybe I'll actually get into it, but for some odd reason, it was just not my cup of tea. And I absolutely love Mario games.
You're such a good listener, Eric.
He is a very good listener.
Don't fucking compliment him. All right.
Look, you want to bitch about life, he'll listen. Don't worry about it.
You are
Sorry.
a good listener. You are. a
It
good
was-
listener.
It was supposed to be
All right, I'm glad.
ironic because he was talking.
All right.
But he actually
Uh,
is a good listener, though.
Everyone went, right? We're gonna actually skip to the last question just so we have time to get to our second topic. But the last part of this topic is I think maybe the best part because it's all about love, right? Why do we love each other? No, wait, sorry. Why in the end do we love Nintendo? And if it's not love, because it's a very strong emotion, we seemingly have a passion for some of the content they make. Like what draws us to them specifically?
Wait, I'm so sorry. I don't know why that I didn't register that. Can you repeat that?
I think you can just
didn't
open the
understand
podcast
that.
doc and read it for yourself. That might help.
Basically, why do you like Nintendo? Like, what draws you to Nintendo?
All right. I'll let other people answer.
I go
I'll let
first.
y'all go first. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that for me it's the Nintendo magic. Not every game has the Nintendo magic, but a lot of them do. Like when you know the Nintendo magic, you know it, right? Like when you're playing Super Mario Odyssey, right? Or even, Animal Crossing New Horizons has that Nintendo magic. There's just something about like these games that when you play them, Kirby Forgotten Land has it, Metroid Dread has it. It's just they just feel magical. They bring you into the world. I'm trying to say something.
It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. My bad. Sorry.
Remember last week when I ate a banana?
No,
I thought black cherry was a
I'm
good
not
flavor.
mad at
It's
the
not.
you posted
It's a bad
super chat.
flavor.
I'm trying to say something. I just see you making faces and going.
All right, I'll stop.
And I'm like, all right, so that's how you feel about my opinion. All right, I guess I'm just full
Yeah.
of shit.
Your opinion
Nintendo
sucks.
sucks.
It was a very good. I was just
sucks.
that was a natural reaction to a really nasty tasting shot. My bad. When Andres is
No.
talking, I will only drink good tasting things.
No.
I
No,
am dying.
That's fine. It's
No,
fine.
Andres,
Anyways,
I actually wanted to hear your story. I'm not kidding.
there was
Yeah.
not a story.
I was invested. Keep going.
I just with Nintendo games, they they even like in the case of Mario Wonder, right? Like we heard that game, they developed that game without a deadline, right? And so when we play that game, there's just a certain attention to detail that you don't see, and they're always trying to. It's not always the same. The Nintendo magic isn't always the exact same thing, right? But there's always something special that you don't really find elsewhere at Nintendo. And so I think that's what kind of continues to bring me back.
Okay. Who wants to go next? How about Eric? Let's
Oh,
go with Eric before
Eric,
everyone
you go
else.
next.
Because look, you haven't always been Nintendo. It's been Xbox and
Oh,
little
it's
bit.
always been Nintendo. I mean,
Oh, here we go.
no, it's always been Nintendo.
So
Nintendo's
why?
always been number one. Xbox was in there, yes, but no, Nintendo's always number one.
Majesty.
Yeah,
PC.
I mean, yes, you act
Game
like I
Gear?
don't dabble in other places, but no, I've thought about this actually throughout the day, and you know, Nintendo, it gets a lot of shit for being, you know, a for kids console, but to a certain extent, that's a brilliant idea because then they get you hooked from a really young age, and then nostalgia holds you through, and the games just are amazing, and so to me, they got me hooked young on the games, and they just keep putting out these great games, and it just kind of keeps me there, and I want to go back and keep taking a bite of that apple, and it's just, yeah.
I would love to piggyback off of that because that is
Mhm.
my point exactly. And listen, I'm gonna get a little sappy, so y'all have your tissues ready. But no, what keeps me coming back to Nintendo is I'm not gonna share too much. Okay, I'm gonna keep it kind of bare minimum. But
Oh,
I
that's impressive
had,
right there.
I had. But I had a pretty rough childhood. For instance, my grandparents raised me. So, when I'm sitting here telling stories about, my grandma and I used to play Nintendo 64, she was like my mom. Well, I consider her my mom, and she's always been my mom. And so that being said, Nintendo was something that always brought us and kept us together, and it kept my mind off of all of the bad stuff that was happening outside of my bedroom, like outside of playing Nintendo with my grandma, like outside of sinking my time and my energy into Pokemon or sinking that time and energy into other games that I really, really, really love. One of those being a guilty pleasure of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Spent a lot of time in that
Nothing
game.
guilty about that.
Some people hate it,
Guilty about
but
that. Or arrest, take me away. All
like
right.
Pokemon, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Animal Crossing defined my childhood, and they were my escape into fantastical worlds that were wholesome and felt good for the soul, as opposed to, for me personally, games that were like shooting games or sports games. And I'm sure that other people might connect with those games just fine. But Nintendo had something wholesome to it that meant a lot to me because there was no, you know, I don't know. It's just I needed the happiness and the happiness was there. That's what I needed. I needed a pick me up. And Nintendo has been picking me up time and time again every single day since I was young, and it continues to do so. And it probably will until my kids call Nintendo their pick me up, and then they go on to live their life like I grew up with my mom playing Nintendo. And that's I feel like Nintendo is maybe the only franchise that will always be able to do that no matter what.
That was awesome.
That was a great story. I love that. How about
No, that
Mr.
was not- that was
PlayStation?
not TMI, by the way. Thank you for sharing that. I think everyone enjoyed that.
All right,
Well,
Mr.
thank you.
PlayStation, what do you got for us?
Oh,
Jake,
me?
that's you. Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Hold on.
eating a
I
banana.
gotta get a banana. Someone else go. I'll be right back.
Oh God.
Oh my.
He loves his bananas.
You know,
Yep. Oh,
it's just he does love a good banana. All right, Nintendo talk.
I'll go. I like to see what Nintendo's coming up with and laugh half the time. And I know that sounds weird, but like they're they're the king of innovation, but they're also the king of like
Pain.
not innovating at the same time. Yeah, it's like graphics, who cares? Like performance, whatever. But you never know what they're gonna do. Like they could come out with a cardboard VR thing. They could come out with a motion control thing. Everyone thinks that the next console is going to be Switch 2 and it's just going to be like a better Switch, but will it really? Like we don't know. Like Nintendo's just so weird.
It sounds like I should have saved you for last for the transition.
I that would have been good. But I don't know. It's also the obvious, the series, like, you know, Animal Crossing. You can expect a new Animal Crossing every console.
Sure.
Smash Bros, Mario Kart. It's like the staples of gaming, honestly, not even just Nintendo. And like the other companies have their thing, you know, like Crash and things like that. And Xbox has Halo, but I feel like it's not even close in terms of, you know, the big, we're spoiled as Nintendo fans. You know, we have things like Metroid and Pikmin. It's just so iconic, and the quality of games for the most part is the highest in all the industry, I think.
Heck yeah, I agree. What about you, Jake?
Except Pokemon.
I don't know,
How
it feels-
dare! Shots fired!
We're
I'm over here
also-
catching strays.
Hey, the Pokemon spin-offs are good.
They're
Pokemon
good,
Tournament,
yeah.
new Pokemon Snap.
Arceus.
Did you find that banana,
Arceus?
Jake? That's
I
what
would
wanna
argue
know.
that's technically mainline,
Mm.
but also it is my favorite Pokemon.
It's in
For
a
once,
weird.
he's out
It's
of
in a weird
bananas.
space to me.
Oh,
I
man.
don't
It
think
is.
it's quite
hit
mainline,
it.
but it's not quite a
Oh,
spin-off
man.
either.
So, all right.
Somewhere
I still
in the
feel really
middle.
dumb. But so like the question is
But I
just
could
like
be wrong.
what I like about Nintendo.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's
What keeps you coming back? you
what
know?
keeps
What-
you coming
what-
back. What keeps
What
you coming
has
back?
you so
That's-
bricked up?
Yeah, about Nintendo. There you go.
Well, I think okay, so there's like a lot of franchises that are exclusive to Nintendo that are near and dear to my heart. There's so many, probably more than than any other platform. There's like games that like you just identify as Nintendo. Pokemon one's for me, but I love Zelda. I love Mario. You know, even like stuff like Kirby and Donkey. Like even Nintendo's like their like B tier and their C tier is better than a lot of other companies like S tier. Like their games are just like that's the one thing. Is like sure they have flops like you mentioned with like the Paper Mario series and like how they changed that up and it wasn't good, but like they are like so like consistently good. Like there's always any given year, there's always going to be at least one Nintendo game that comes out that'll probably end up being one of your favorite games ever.
Mhm.
And that like consistency and quality, I guess is why I keep coming back. And even when it's like not good, like Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's still Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like it's still so good. And like I said, I love that game because similar to what you were saying about Zelda, Nate, it came out at a time where I had just started a YouTube channel and I was playing it on my channel like every single day. And so that's always going to have a special place in my heart for that reason. So I don't know. Nintendo's just, it's great.
So wholesome. All right, Nate. What about you?
I told you hit it.
So there it is. And it's
Just
not just
keeping it
any
warm.
ordinary banana. It's like a double size.
That's
Look
a
at
It's
that.
actually, it's
big
pretty
boy.
normal size.
It's pretty genetically
You
modified.
think this is big? You know, all right.
There's some GMOs going on in that banana. right
What's that
now.
about 4 more inches than you need? Or what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all
2 inches
fitting.
is more than enough.
I tell my story while Jake eats a banana. Anyways, so like I talked earlier about how special Zelda's been for me and all the different times in my life that it came around, but honestly, Nintendo became special to me as a child. I don't talk about this often. But I grew up in a maybe not the most ideal of situations, certainly way luckier than most people. I both my parents are still married, they're still together, they're wonderful people. But it wasn't always the case when I was a kid. I was their firstborn, and they would fight all the time, like nonstop, screaming at the top of their lungs at each other, screaming at the top of their lungs at me. And on top of that, my dad had a drinking problem back then. I know, ironic, I drink a lot, but I got the fun drunk genes like my uncle, not the to pass out in the middle of the street and have your 15-year-old son with his temps come pick you up from a ditch in the middle of the night when I can get arrested. That's not fun. And my dad has since gotten sober, and God bless him. I'm so happy for him.
That's
'Cause
highly relatable.
he almost ruined his entire life in his marriage. So I'm very glad he got his life together. But
Heck yeah, good for him.
I'm proud of him for that. But it doesn't change what my childhood experience was. And at graduation, me and Eric running around trying to stop my dad while drunk, chucking shit at people's cars. Nobody's apparently noticing this is happening but us. And so all of that to say that it's not like I had the worst childhood ever. Like there's way more. I wasn't like beat or anything or had any abuse like that. It was all mental and verbal stuff.
Dude,
but,
and you got duct taped naked to the bench?
Yes, by the football team. It is what it is.
Oh my God.
But there was more than that. There have other high school
month was
stories.
it? What month did that happen in?
January.
Oh God, Jesus.
Yeah, there was like 4 feet of snow on the ground. It is what it is.
Ooh.
Anyways, I like to think it was hazing, but I don't really know. I got picked on a lot in high school. But the big thing is for me that I bring all that up because that's what made me run to Nintendo in the first place. And it is a credit to my dad who first introduced me to the Nintendo Entertainment System and all that. And I ended up getting a game.
Nerd. Just kidding.
Nerd. But like as much as Zelda was like an escape for me, it wasn't just Zelda. Like I have all these fond memories of Pokemon and Trading Card Company. Going down and even playing like the Pokemon trading card game down at the card shop downtown just to get away from home. Just get on the bike, go downtown. Back when it was safe to get on your bike and leave from your parents' house and go downtown. You can't really do that today. It's not really that safe anymore. But back when you could do that, and then that was a huge part of it. And Super Mario Land and Mario, just I'm gonna cry, but Nintendo is just kind of better constant. And look, when I look at my life today and what Nintendo has done for me, not just my career, but just helping me through life. I play everything, right? I got a PlayStation 5 behind me. I have the Xbox. I PC game, so I play at everything. Wherever there's a game I want to play, I want to be able to play it. And I have fond connections to things like Age of Empires and even the Spider-Man games. I love those on PlayStation. Big Halo guy. I love Halo. Well, the reason I have Xbox, I play Madden. I'm in Madden leagues and stuff. But honestly, I'm not emotionally connected to any of those games. They could basically not exist and I would be fine. But if I don't get a Mario game, if I don't get a Zelda, if I don't get an Animal Crossing or a Xenoblade now, because Xenoblade is such a big series now, a Metroid, like I can't. There's a lot of things in life I think I can't live without, right? My fiance, my kids. I don't know if I want to live a life where Nintendo doesn't exist.
Same.
And that's how important it's been to me. And that's what drove me to do what I do as a content creator is just my love and passion for what this company does. And they're not perfect and they do dumb things and they make anti-consumer decisions and they're not perfect. I've criticized the hell out of them over the years, but at the end of the day, as they keep bringing the damn games I want to play, I'm going to be here. And for all you guys that get mad at me over the damn rumors, tell Nintendo to announce a game. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Not one
for
from my
real.
childhood. How about an actual new game? I know Princess Peach Showtime might be legit. We'll see.
Well,
That's
I
my story.
completely and totally relate to your story. I think that it's awesome that we all get to have Nintendo in our lives and how lucky we are to be living in a time where Nintendo exists. I mean, could you imagine if we were born 50 years earlier or something, and not be able to enjoy it as
probably
much as
gone
we
into
well,
Dungeons and
maybe
Dragons.
like 70. Let me change that to like 70, maybe 100 years. Because they're 80-year-olds now that could play.
Maybe I would have
But
joined the military.
but imagine like 100 years ago we didn't have this to enjoy. And
I'd be a
like
pirate.
yeah, you could. You really could be one. But
I'd
you would
let
be
you
a
swashbuckle me.
Nintendo-less pirate. And what kind of life is that?
It's not a good one.
But still, I think it's great that we all get to have Nintendo in our lives. I think it's impacted all of us pretty severely. I would say that none of us would be who we are today without it. And that's why it's super exciting that there are things coming up soon, that we have things to look forward to.
You know
Because
what I
looking,
love about
I
Sabrina
also
right
want
now?
to add one
2
thing.
episodes in, and she like runs the show. It's great.
She's good.
oh,
I also want to add one thing, and that was like I saw like someone like throw shade at Nate for like crying, and I just want to say you're a little bitch because first of all, when
Nate,
you
not the guy.
genuinely like cry, like it sneaks up on you like that. Like it's not a controlled emotion because it's like it's an emotion. So
I
like
don't
that's
trust
like
men who don't cry.
yeah, exactly.
I don't trust
So
y'all.
you can literally suck a fuck. And if you're wondering how exactly does one suck a fuck, go learn. All right.
He's not going to
I-
tell you.
Just figure
Go
it out.
figure it out.
So
And with
whenever
that-
I watch, oh, by the way, some people are saying I was holding back laughter. No, when Nate started crying, I was like, oh, okay, I gotta be serious now.
Nate's got
Not-
shooters.
Not because I thought it was funny. It was like, oh,
No,
shit's
I
getting
didn't
real.
actually plan to cry. I'm like, all right, we're just gonna tell this story. I'm gonna be all smooth.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But
Literally,
you know what?
like halfway, and I'm like, nope, I can't stop it anymore.
You know what,
Yeah.
though? I think it's cool that you have a space where you can cry and everybody stands in solidarity with you and says, you know what, we all feel
Besides
exactly
that one
what
asshole.
you're feeling.
That
right
one,
now.
there's an asshole in
that-
every crowd.
And that one asshole can go suck a fuck.
I will say, I did
There it is.
did see his comment, and it made me laugh.
I think that's what you were laughing at. I think that's what we were talking
Yeah.
about.
I thought it was just so ridiculous. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
so
crying
I think-
is totally fine. Occasionally,
I think it's awesome that we all have such great memories to look back on, and all of them sound like they are basically unanimously good. I know that
Mhm.
we've probably had some bad memories of Nintendo, but they're really hard to think about throughout the sea of how much awesomeness is up in
the
it.
partner showcase.
Yeah, so now we have something forward to look. Now we have
Well, sort of.
Maybe.
the
I'm
partner
actually
showcase to look
excited.
forward
I'm
to.
excited.
So what?
Yeah.
What do we
I'm
think?
excited.
What you got, Nate?
So, our last time in the night is kind of a dual whammy topic because of a couple rumors. I guess if you want to call them rumors, I don't know what you want to call them. I don't know what else you would call them. It's from somebody who is a known Nintendo insider. So we got something about the next week's direct that is still just a rumor direct. It's not like we know 100% for sure it's going to happen. And Switch 2, which technically we can argue we don't know 100% sure is even a real thing. Beyond the caveat that Nintendo back in 2021 mentioned new hardware and Nintendo accounts moving forward to them. So Nintendo's working on hardware. What is it? I guess we'll find out when they tell us. But Nate the Hate did a podcast today, as he tends to do. He does like 1 or 2 a month. And his was all about Nintendo today. It was all about the upcoming Direct. And then most of it was spent talking about Nintendo Switch 2 and the rest of 2024 and a lot of his hopes and dreams and wishes for the platform. You guys want to go watch it? Go check out his YouTube channel. I don't have it linked anywhere. It does what it is. Just type Nate the Hate in Google. It'll pop up. But he said today, and notably, the reason this matters is because what he said last Friday on a place called Family Boards, where he said he knew what the Direct was in terms of what form it was going to take, whether it was going to be a normal, a mini, a partner showcase, whatever, an indie world, whatever it was going to be. He knew what it was, and he knew some of the games in it. Today on his podcast, he said that he believes or thinks that it's going to be a partner showcase. He also backed Necrofilipa Lima's report that it was going to be happening next week on the 15th. So there is that as well. That's the date that we sort of expect.
I will just add, I am now openly saying I've heard a partner showcase. If you've been watching my videos,
Yes.
I've been hinting it for like 9
I didn't
days.
want to bring it up unless you were okay with it because
I am now openly saying I heard. I'm not going to say how or why I heard. I just heard,
Yep.
and it lines up. Not saying I'm 100% confident in it, but the
can
fact that
confirm he
Nate's
told
also
me
saying
last
it,
week. He told me last week, but I didn't say anything. So because he told me not to. That's what friends do.
When are we
Um,
getting the Lego Zelda set, by the way?
By the fall is the current rumor.
Well, the
I think-
current leak that has a really reliable record says September. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Technically
not far
summer, I suppose. Anyways, we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, so he said the partner showcase. So the reason that I don't want to stop there, because we will talk about whether we're disappointed or whatever this might be. He also went on to note that he firmly believes he's like doubling down on something he said last year after Gamescom, that Switch 2 is going to be revealed before the Game Developers Conference, which takes place on the 18th, just because behind the scenes, Nintendo is going to be talking to developers. Now, Nintendo has 2 presentations they're doing publicly at GDC about Mario Wonder and Tears of the Kingdom. But this is more behind the scenes conversations that is presumptuous that Nintendo would have with other developers. He thinks it will be revealed before then. So Switch 2 would be revealed before March 18th, which is when it takes place. So first off, like, how do we feel about a possible partner showcase instead of a mini or general direct? Since honestly, that's really mostly what they have in February is like normal minis and general directs. Andres, you can go first.
No, I just see the bit block in the chat. What's up, man? It says, do partner showcases ever have hypo info in them? And I will say that we've seen some pretty cool things in partner showcases. We've seen Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity's been in a partner showcase. We've seen Mario Rabbids in a showcase.
Crossover Nintendo games can be in these.
Yeah,
games.
Monster Hunter Rise has had a segment. Shin Megami Tensei 5 has had a segment. Was it Bravely Default 2 had a segment?
Yep.
So there have been some pretty No More Heroes had a segment before. So there have been partner showcases that do have some known third-party games that were either big exclusives or big timed exclusives, or like Nintendo games that are being made by third-party companies.
Yes.
Like Hyrule Warriors Age of
Cadence
Calamity.
of Hyrule, I think, was actually M1. I don't think that was.
Yeah, I mean that used. Yeah, it's.
Was that announced at E3? That might have been an E3 announcement, actually.
So I'm not saying some of these may have not have been the first time announced in a showcase, but there are updates on them, and some of them have had first time updates there. So they're big. There can be big stuff, but like personally, how I've ranked them, I think everyone's going to agree, right? General Nintendo Direct, that's the big hype thing. Nintendo Direct minis will have some good stuff, but less. And then a partner showcase, it's going to be third party. It is what it is. It's from partners, not directly from Nintendo. And there's probably going to be some good things in there, but it depends on your cup of tea. If you're only a hardcore Nintendo fan, you might watch a partner showcase and leave very disappointed.
Yeah,
but maybe you should try other things then.
What if we get a Silksong release date?
That would be hype for some.
So
that would be huge if they got the. I actually pinned that. I pinned a comment of mine that I made on my video for today, where I'm like, dude, I don't care what happens. I can forgive not having a general direct if they give us a Silksong release date. That would be so huge. We've been waiting for that game since 2019. I played a demo. So did Eric. Mm-hmm. We played a demo of Silksong like 5 years ago. Can we just get a release date, please? That's enough time to make a whole new video game.
Oh crap! 2019 was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like we don't. Like, sorry to bring that memory up.
I think Hi-Fi Rush.
I was a younger man then.
Next week.
I was just figuring out what being 30 meant. It is what it is.
So if it is a partner showcase, which is what it just kind of sounds like it might be, is there something y'all would be looking forward to seeing?
Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, yeah. I see. I beat Hi-Fi Rush on Xbox. I might double dip. That game is.
There could be a lot of Microsoft or Xbox things.
Hell yeah, there better be. Hey, Microsoft has a big announcement to make next week about their game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
this will probably happen. Rare Replay or something.
Oh, Rare Replay will be sick.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we're definitely going overboard, but
why not? Dude, a lot of those Rare games were on Nintendo in the first place.
I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying maybe one Microsoft game per partner showcase. I feel like is a reasonable expectation.
I think that's going out the window. Don't let me call your Microsoft's doing right now, though.
Huh? What?
I think there could be a lot with what Microsoft's doing, the way that they're like just kind of blowing up everything.
Oh, but maybe you're right. Maybe they're gonna be like, "Hey, we're actually having an initiative, and here's several." That would be cool. Yeah.
So I think the rumors are they're ending Game Pass, or they're ending day one games on Game Pass. They're putting everything on PS5. So why wouldn't they put stuff on Switch?
Oh, I definitely.
It's insane.
What can go on Switch?
What can, yeah.
So I recently saw a Sonic thing lately, and I think it was called Sonic Generations. But like they had like the OG Sonic, they had Sonic DX. I seen some of that in there. I saw some Sonic Adventure 2 battle stuff in there. I saw some Shadows stuff in there. And
I
Oh,
think they already
yeah,
dropped
that
a trailer for that. on the
yeah,
Nintendo
so I saw
YouTube.
the trailer for that. Do you think that something like that would get expanded upon in a direct like this, or probably not?
That's
maybe.
that's definitely it's a
Probably.
third party game. Like that's like the kind of game that we could see.
Because
that
I
right
would
there.
love to see more of that. Because I want to know what is going on with Sonic Generations.
Absolutely, that is definitely a possibility. HD 2D RPGs from Square Enix.
The Team Asano. Yeah,
easily.
that's another one.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
see
like
that here.
so, like like this triangle strategies, the Live Alive, the Bravely Defaults, like
Hell
something like
yeah, dude.
that. We could see here for sure.
What
I think
about-
that they've actually said they have games to announce this year, so it's been a
Thunder
little bit.
Lotus. Thunder Lotus is third party, right?
I think so.
I don't even know what Thunder.
That was my
Lotus is.
nickname in high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
They
Yeah,
were the
I'm
ones.
sure it
They were
was.
the ones that made Spirit Fair, and I would totally be
Oh,
down to
okay.
see
Yeah,
more
yeah,
from
yeah,
Thunder
sure.
Lotus.
all right.
Absolutely.
I'd be
Yeah,
excited
yeah.
for like a Story of Seasons or Rune Factory. or something
Yes,
like that.
yes. Story of Seasons in Rune Factory,
But-
please.
What we're
give
saying
me
is
that.
this might be more hype than you realize. Is kind of what we're saying.
Yeah,
We
I-
don't need no
Could be.
more Harvest Moon. Get that shit out
I-
of here.
I think
It's
the
not
bigger.
even the same developers. Get Harvest Moon the hell out of here.
Hey,
yeah,
Harvest Moon wasn't too
get
bad.
out of here.
The
Hey,
most
it
recent one?
wasn't back in the day before the flip flop
Yeah.
happened.
Harvest these nuts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
God damn it.
On the moon.
What is going on? Dude, Jake is so
Yeah.
bricked up.
I am so down for another
I almost
Story of
missed the 2
Seasons
inch
or
at
a
this
Rune
one.
That's not my
Factory.
name.
Oh, that's another one. That's another game I really, really wanted to get into, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get into Rune Factory 5. And I
Yeah.
loved 4 so much. I
Oh.
loved 4. I played
see.
the heck
Ever-
out of Rune Factory 4, but Rune Factory 5, I don't know what it was.
They
I was
did
super
announce
hyped
play
for it, and
Rune
I couldn't do
Factory
it.
games.
That game on PSP that was like a futuristic Harvest Moon.
Your girl is too broke to have a PSP.
Well, you can just buy one for like really cheap and then just hack it and put all the games on. It only takes like 20 minutes. It's so
I had a
easy.
cartridge like
That's
that
one of the
for
reasons it sold
3DS.
so much. It was one of the easiest to hack systems like ever.
Yeah, now it's
Because
even more.
the game sales weren't even that great on it.
Bro,
Yeah,
if
that's
they
the
come
problem,
out with
that's why, yeah.
another if they come out with another Story of Seasons, I will be set for a little while.
Oh, they will for sure.
I
It's
see
already like kind of
Games
new.
is saying Sea of Thieves is rumored. I'm down
It
for some
is.
Sea of Thieves on Switch.
Dude, Sea
That
of
would be
Thieves is
awesome.
really good right now too.
A lot of
Really-
people are
Yeah.
talking about Sea of Thieves.
I'd be-
There was a
I'd be down
lot
for
of
that.
problems when the first game came out because
See-
there wasn't a lot of end game content, but that's totally fixed now. It is-
I'd be more likely to play that
Yeah.
on PS5 where like I can actually talk, not through an app.
Yeah, that kind of brings me to what I maybe I'm the downer.
you know,
here,
we
but,
can
like,
just get on a call, pansy ass.
I was
Why?
gonna
That's
say
too
like
much effort.
partner
Call me
showcases.
pansy ass. What the hell? What the
Oh,
hell?
I want to hear what Nintendo is
Yeah.
trying
yeah.
to say.
Yeah,
Sorry,
pansy
Nintendo.
ass. Shut
Well,
up.
I was just saying like maybe I'm the downer here because like when it comes to third party games, there's only a few that I would choose the Switch over. Like I have an Xbox
Sure.
One X in the other room. Like so it's like I don't know if Rare Replay came out on the Switch. Like I guess that'd be exciting, but I've been playing that for like what 10 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Partner showcase. The only good thing I think, well, besides the games that we all want, is does this allude to like Switch 2 coming? Because
There it is. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Nintendo
all right.
coming through with the
So,
transitions
before
every
we
time.
go there, I just want to say, like, because we're gonna go there, right? And Nate and I think are 100% the same page. We both believe that if there's a partner showcase next week, we believe above 98% certain. I'm at 98% certainty that Switch 2 reveal is in March. If the partner showcase, and so I don't want to explain exactly more beyond that, but that's where I would be if that happens, right? So just put that out there. But before we go there, I just want to say we still don't know about April through June, right? And so partner showcase or not, like that's gonna give us third party things. There needs to be like, well, there's this expectation that we get Nintendo published games almost every month, right? every month, not every other month. And so if this partner showcase doesn't like give us like any new announcements for that point, I would be very confused because they would have if it doesn't happen, I would actually be thinking that there's got to be like some social media drops. And so, you know, like what could those be, right? We have Luigi's Mansion 2, we have Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. Maybe we just get trailers for those with release dates and they fall into the like the April to July period to help fill it up. And then maybe there's a game or two that is being made by a partner, but it's a Nintendo published title that's in the showcase. And so I'm gonna throw this out at you guys. And this is definitely me being optimistic, right? And I could be wrong, but they recently announced a Sheikah Slate first 4 figures. That Viz announced the Twilight Princess manga. The Nintendo recently announced a new set of pins for The Legend of Zelda. We got the Zelda concert, tomorrow or like a day and a half from now. And there are Zelda amiibo restocks coming to GameStop, including Wolf Link amiibo. Now, these happen sometimes randomly, but it's been a little while, so it's kind of curious if all of these things are happening around the same time. And so I've been kind of on the train, are we getting something Zelda? Because something Zelda happens almost every year, right? And based off what we sort of think is going to happen the second half year for Switch 2, we don't think there's going to be like a Zelda game to launch the system. And so where do you fit in something Zelda? Well, what if we're going to get like some sort of Zelda remaster collection or maybe like a Twilight Princess drop or something like that? Like I can kind of see that. And if that's being made by, say, Tantalus or some other third-party company, that could technically be in the partner showcase. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I could be wrong on that. But I'm just kind of putting it out there that there's a lot of like weird Zelda things happening right now. And if there's a third-party company that's behind like porting it, could be in the showcase, or Nintendo could just be like, hey, these games are coming out. They'll be out in May. Enjoy them. Like they might just drop that like randomly next week before the showcase, right? Or other trailers. So I'm just putting it out there. We might have a Twitter Direct and a partner showcase. So
I don't think they'll do the Twitter Direct because I think if they're doing a partner showcase, they want to highlight the partner stuff. The Twitter Direct would be later.
Okay, so do you still agree though? I'm curious. Do you guys agree that they have to fill up April through June with Nintendo published games? Or
I think it depends what's in the partner Direct.
I sure as hell hope that they do.
I don't.
What if they have exclusive like third-party games in the partner Direct for those months?
I mean, if they're all exclusive, that would be wild.
No, it won't be all of them, but there'll be some. I'm sure they'll have like maybe
the
another
thing
crossover game or something.
The thing is, we get exclusives all the
Link's
time.
Crossbow Training too, baby.
And Nintendo still
Third party.
Nintendo will still put their own published title in the same month. Like, how many times has that Asano game, like the Bravely Default or whatever, share like the spotlight with another Nintendo game early in the year? Like that happens all the time. So I don't know. Like it would have to be like a Nintendo thing if Nintendo's going to kind of continue this consistency of releasing games almost every month.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's possible. I mean, look, we don't know what Nintendo's going to do. Anything.
Right.
We don't.
But
I do think it's very likely if this is a partner showcase, like Switch 2's happening in March, like at least a teaser, at least.
I mean, do we think we're going to get like a really good send off for Switch though? I mean, do they really? If I'm Nintendo, I'm saving all my firepower for the new system, and they're going to continue to make Switch games like they did with 3DS. They continued making 3DS until what, like 2018, 2019. So there's going to be some.
I think Tears of the Kingdom was that game.
I think so too.
The very last thing will be like the cross-gen games.
And I think that a lot of times, like Nintendo has probably not seen the best results from the games that came out right on the cusp of like console changes. Like, for example, you know what? I might be full of shit and I might not know what I'm talking about. But I don't remember people going that crazy over Sun and Moon. And that was kind of like as some of like the previous ones, like X and Y. Like I don't remember the hype for those games being as high as say X and Y or Oris or some of its, predecessors. And it was right on the cusp of the Switch. Like I think it came out not that long before the Switch. So I could be totally
I'll tell you that Sun and Moon,
it sold okay.
Like only like 500,000 less than X and Y.
Isn't the rumor that the Let's Go Johto game is going to be the last Switch game or last Pokemon Switch game.
Are they
Hey,
even
Tom,
going
are
to
you
do
talking
a
about
Let's
4chan
Go
rumor?
Johto one?
That's
Do
a
we think that
4chan
they're
rumor.
going
So,
isn't it?
like the Let's Go Togepi and Wooper.
Yeah,
So-
that's a 4chan rumor. Yeah, it's hard to put a lot of stock in 4chan rumors when
Yeah.
nothing else they've said has been proven.
Hmm.
But
I
the
would be
one
so
4chan rumor you
disappointed
paid
that was
attention
true.
to. Yeah.
I hope
I-
that's not true.
Yeah,
Wooper
I-
doesn't seem, it'd be Pichu, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's
You're gonna-
well. Here's
yeah.
well,
I-
like you would think it would be a Gen 2 exclusive Pokemon, so it does make sense that it actually wouldn't be Pichu because it's line.
I know Wooper gained a little popularity lately, and I
Oh yeah, no,
understand. 'cause-
Wooper is so random though. I agree.
Yeah,
Here's
There's been
what
a lot
I'll
of
say.
Gen 2 love on Pokemon Twitter.
yeah.
Here's what I'll say I want Nintendo to do. And like I said, if I'm full of shit, y'all feel free to call me out. Okay. I'm just speaking off the dome here.
You're
but
full of shit.
dang it, I do it. God dang it. But now I think that it might be in Nintendo's best interest to release something that I wouldn't call it middle of the road, but something that is good enough to enjoy on the Switch, but also would be great on the Switch too, but something that kind of fills in this liminal space of we're
Yep.
kind of in between. What are
Wind
we
Waker
doing
Twilight
right
Princess
now?
HD.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
He just
So,
hates
like-
driving it home.
Something that like you
Does
can
it not
enjoy
make
it.
sense?
It's not bad on the Switch and it's good on the Switch too, but it's not like a banger, like a brand new 3D Mario game that's like the next Mario Odyssey 2 or something.
Pokemon Legends, let's go.
Like
what I want.
I hope no, I really don't want them to. I really need them to not. Until the Switch, unless it's only going to be out on the Switch
He's talking
too.
about before Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah,
know, but the
before Switch
Pokemon's
2
not gonna
We're
be
comes
talking
out.
about, we're talking
I
about
don't-
April through June right now.
Okay,
Listen
but
to me very carefully.
hold on.
I don't.
You
want
Pokemon
any-
people, answer me. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're not seeing an exclusive Pokemon game for 3 years on Switch 2.
I hope not.
Well, that's
3
a-
years?
Hope not.
Yeah,
No,
because
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Let's say Switch 2 comes
Pokemon-
out later this
the
year.
The Pokemon games
September.
are typically behind, so like
Yeah,
they'll.
I think
like,
we're 2 holidays. We still won't have an
they
exclusive.
always like release their game on the previous system. Like Black and White 2 came out
Exactly.
when the 3DS was already out. Like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon came out when the Switch was out, right? Like
Yeah.
it always happens like that.
That's
Right.
why I'm like,
Pokemon
I'm thinking 2026 is when we'll finally get a
No.
Switch 2 exclusive.
Let
Because-
me
No,
let me
I know you're saying
explain.
no, but they'd like to have an audience. 10 million Switches ain't going to be enough.
The whole
Let
They're
me-
gonna
let me
want
ex-
like 20.
Let me
plus.
explain where I'm at real
Switch 2s.
quick.
Switch 2s. Sorry.
I just want to explain where I'm at.
Sorry, I
I
didn't mean to
hope-
interrupt you.
No, you're totally fine. It's okay. It's okay.
No,
As
fuck them.
far I really, really, really do not want another Pokemon game until the Switch 2 comes out because I think that the Pokemon Company needs to learn their lesson at some point about how the momentum, their trajectory looks kind of like a train wreck from my perspective. And if they don't slow it down a little bit, they're going to keep pissing people off and they're going to keep frustrating people. And the more and more time goes on, the more and more you hear about, I don't play Pokemon games anymore. The last one I played was X and Y. Oh, the last one I played was Let's Go. The last one I played was Gen 3. The last one I played was, I don't know, before Sun and Moon, for example. Those are the last ones I'll never play another Pokemon game again because they have no excuse to be this poor in quality. And we kind of talked about this the last time.
What's
I was
crazy
on
is
here.
Scarlet and Violet just
And-
sold more than any of those other games that you listed that you said was my last
Yeah,
Pokemon
people
game.
keep buying them, so they're not going
That's
to
the
learn
problem.
their lesson.
And it's because
And
of the
that's- but that's-
merchandise and the anime that they have to keep doing. I'm with you, Sabrina, and that's what I want, but I just don't see it happening.
I
will
just
note, if
I don't
Legends was two
want
games, it might have
another
outsold it.
I guess essentially what I'm trying to say is I don't want Pokemon to have another excuse to not do as well as they could. Because at least if they're planning on releasing a game that is just on the Switch 2, we can hold their feet to the fire again. But I'm not here to hear that the reason that it sucks so bad is because they made it for it to be compatible on both the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. Like I just want them to get it together.
Yeah,
And
that-
I
that's not
want
excuses.
I want their first Switch 2 game to be the evidence of that.
That's why 2026. So they have time to do it right.
I'm
Oh,
down
and
for
Animal Crossing comes out.
2026.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm down
appreciate.
and I'm down for spin-offs. Spin-offs, I don't care.
Yeah,
Mainly,
that
I'm
doesn't-
talking about the
Dude, she's
mainline
down
games.
to
games. Get in the way.
clown when it comes to Pokemon if they do it right.
I just want to say
I'm
that
down to clown.
while I do agree that they should take a break, they haven't in like what 15 years or something.
Oh, I'm not anticipating them
yeah.
to do so.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying
the-
if I had
and-
it my way.
I
And
agree.
so
Mhm.
yeah,
That's the ideal
what's
way, for sure.
probably going to happen based off what they've shown us year by year is they're going to start the new generation on the new console, right? Generations happen every 3 years. That would line us up for a 2025 release. And if you look at when they jumped on the Switch, it was 2018, the second year of the Switch. And if we believe Switch 2 is coming out this year, it lines up for the next Pokemon game to release 2025. However, if for whatever reason they finally decide to delay things a year, then maybe the next generation comes out 2026. I still think we probably get a game on Switch 2 before then, though. I'm actually on the train that we're gonna get a game this year, right? I think I think it's gonna be Gen 2 related based off how Pokemon social media, because they like to hint at things. I don't know what it's gonna be. I hope it's a Legends game, like Legends Johto, with like
That would
Celebi or
be
something.
awesome.
And it'll be for Switch, but maybe they can fit in a Switch 2 patch.
I don't want it that way. I just want it to be Switch 2, but I will take what I can get. I would love a
We'll buy it.
Legend Celebi. Please
We'll
give me a
complain and
Legend
buy it.
Celebi. I will buy it and not complain.
Yeah.
It won't be ideal, but for the most part, I would like I said, I don't consider the Legends games to be mainline. I don't know. I don't know what the consensus is on that.
Well,
like-
they were said by the Pokemon Company to be mainline.
They did.
They're also made by
Arceus.
Game Freak.
They don't. Either way,
Legends
you know
is
what?
The best thing that happened to Pokemon in 20
take-
years. I'm
I'll
just a
take
fan.
Legends. I'll take any Legends game. You can give it to me whenever you want. Please
So-
don't. Well,
Yes.
You heard her.
Please
You
give
can
it to
give
me
it
for
to
You
her
heard it.
whenever
Dude. Give
you
it to her
want.
whenever you want. You just need to be a legend. Wait for it. Dare
Of
you.
the fall.
All right, so here's a scenario, okay? Next Thursday, we get a normal direct, and it's a banger. There's like big announcements and everything.
Oh,
Switch
What
to
is
dang.
that?
2025. Switch to 2025. That's
You
what
think
that
so?
means.
You think it's a big tell?
Dude, if they come out
Yeah.
with bangers and they're dropping all these big Nintendo games in a general direct, dude, it's 2025.
All right, if they show off a 3D Mario,
Yeah, exactly.
if they show off 3D Mario in a Switch only direct,
yeah.
I'll be like, all right.
It would have to be like
Yeah.
new games.
Sorry, guys. I'm about to lose
remastered.
half my subscribers. It is
If
what
they
it is.
announce Metro Prime 4 is coming out like summer or something,
Well,
on
but
its
I
own,
would,
I'd be
I
like,
would
yeah.
say, look, Metro Prime 4 is one that I'd be like, it's a banger, but that's one that Switch 2 could still come out, even if that's in.
If I
Yeah,
hit my whole
it's not,
Banco
it's
card,
not
it'll be
the
awesome.
final nail in the coffin, but it's definitely a nail.
Because it's
a nail.
already. Well, I don't even think it's a nail because it's previously announced for Switch. So they could literally show it for Switch and then have a Switch 2 version
So,
in a Switch 2.
I
event,
understand where you're
so.
coming from. That makes sense. But from my
Yeah,
perspective,
Mister,
it's the
it might
kind of
be the launch game. It might make sense to be the launch game for Switch 2.
Why does this
Well,
always happen to me when the
doesn't have
conversation
to be an
starts
argument.
getting interesting? I have a hard stop.
what are you trying to say?
all right.
I know.
No,
It was
you're
just
doing
hard
it.
to
Switching us
do.
in Time
Episode.
Machine.
Sabrina, good job.
Do what?
Oh, jeez.
Would
Well,
you
it's
say?
all right,
You
Sabrina.
crushed
Thank
it
you for
this
being
episode.
here.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
holding it
Hey,
down.
please reach out behind the scenes so we can schedule you up for next month.
Absolutely. I absolutely will. Y'all, it has been so fun. I want to
Guys,
keep
subscribe to
coming on
Saffron
here.
City TV.
Hey,
Yes.
just
If
to
you
let
like
know,
Pokemon regions.
every week, but next
Link in
week we
chat.
have openings. So anytime you want on, let me know. Next week we're
Okay.
packed, but
I surely will. Because this makes 2 times in a row that I've had a blast hanging out with y'all. So I would love to continue doing it. And y'all are all so
Trying to keep them
awesome.
shorter than this too.
And I hate that I have to go right before the conversation gets hype. It makes me feel like I'm experiencing FOMO, but I have got to brush my teeth and get my ass in bed because your girl got to get up and work in the morning. So
yeah, dude,
Yes, you-
Understandable.
dude, I
You know,
gotta
I
wait
feel
till
the
I get my
same way
kids
trying
off
to
from
leave.
school. It is what it is. I just deal with it.
Yeah,
But-
I gotta
Serious
scoot
go.
scoot, but I really
bye,
I really
Sabrina.
appreciate y'all so much. We'll
Yep.
see y'all later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
So what I wanted to say is just with Metro Prime 4, right? If it was to be announced for like, before the holiday, right, in a direct say next week with no mention of Switch 2 at all. And then there's also 3D Mario thing. Like Metro Prime 4, if it's coming out this year and Switch 2 is also coming out this year and they don't use it as a cross-gen title, would be a real head scratcher to me. So it wouldn't be a final nail in the coffin, but it would definitely have me wondering what's going on. 3D Mario in a Switch 1 only direct would be the actual nail in the coffin for
Could you see like a Breath of the Wild type thing where it's like Switch 2? If you get the Switch 2 version, it's $10 more, but it's enhanced. Like,
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
actually that's like I
right.
kind of think that. I kind of think Metro Prime
Yeah.
4 is going to have like the whole HDR ray tracing,
Oh, there has
less
to be
boosted
enhanced.
at
Maybe even-
$70.
Yeah, it
And
might
then
even
maybe
be
a week or
30
two later
FPS on
comes for
and
Switch for
60 on
60.
Switch too.
Don't say 30 FPS.
I hate saying that,
Don't
but
you say that.
if they push the
Don't you say
visuals-
that.
if
Get
they
out.
push the visuals.
Get out.
Buy it on Switch 2. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
You
man.
are gonna have it on Switch 2 anyways. Come
Listen,
on,
man. Metro Prime 1 60 FPS. Metro Prime
Yeah,
2
but-
60 FPS.
Yeah, okay,
Metro
that's
Prime 3
fine.
60
Do
FPS.
you want this to be a visual feast, or do you want it to be 60 FPS on Switch?
60 FPS.
Do you want it to look better than Metroid Prime Remaster, or
Still
do you
gonna
rather
look
it just look
good.
the same?
It could still look better than Prime Remastered and be 60 FPS.
I don't know. Can it?
Yes, because Prime Remastered is already based off, that was a few years ago already. They've surely advanced things since then.
I don't know. I've seen some performance tests that shows the Switch was
They
almost.
may
maxing
have
out.
advanced things since then, and don't call me Shirley.
No, you're a visual feast. That's all you
Thank
really
you.
are.
There you go. But I mean, well, that we
So-
have opinions, so
Yeah, no, it's all fine. Yeah, we have no idea. Obviously, Metroid Prime 4 is one of the biggest. Like, what the hell is going on with this game? We've been waiting so damn long. For
I
it.
do think a partner showcase next week means that we're not getting Prime. We're not getting any. We might not get anything Metroid related until the Switch 2 reveal, if not
Sure.
later. Yeah.
So I want to get this last point here before we switch over to the Q&A section. By the way, if you guys have any questions you want to submit, you can use super chats. Yes, I get super bricked up if you guys super chat. It is what it is. But well, none of us know when Switch 2 is getting revealed. There is a heavy belief it's happening sooner rather than later. So let's assume that Nate the Hate is right and it's being revealed in early March. How do we actually feel about the system right now? What are our biggest fears and biggest hopes? Because time is almost out in the world of Switch 2 not being officially announced, because once it is, everything changes.
I'll tell you that the speculation on Nate's podcast about the lack of Joy-Cons would be total bullshit.
Watch it come out, no Joy-Cons.
I mean, I'm not. Hey, if that happens, I feel like that it would be a weird choice.
He
Because,
said
like,
no Joy-Cons?
the way he worded it, people are going to probably interpret it as a leak, but I think it's a prediction. It wasn't clarified.
I think
What
he
it
wants
was.
it to not have Joy-Cons because they talked about all the things they don't like about Joy-Cons. Oh, and nobody takes them off the rails and play. And I've said there nobody.
But
My
I do.
fiance actually prefers the
Well,
Joy-Cons
some
over
of
the
the
Pro
games
controller.
Take
My
good
kids-
use of doing that.
Dude,
Right.
my
Yeah.
kids use the Joy-Cons on the side all the time. I feel like
Goodbye,
his whole taking that
Switch Sports,
podcast.
goodbye, Ring Fit Adventure,
Yeah.
goodbye, Nintendo
And
Labo. all
Zelda
games is total
Skyward
loss.
Sword.
Look,
Yeah.
I don't no
Oh.
shade at Nate the Hate, but his entire take on this was entirely selfish, and he was thinking of nobody but his own wants and desires. Because look,
Well,
I
don't
have kids.
sugarcoat it. Tell me how you really feel.
No, it was bullshit.
No shade, but
You need to
complete
think about
shade.
other people. Look, I don't think the Joy-Cons are great. I
mean,
think there's a
maybe
lot of
Nintendo-
issues
maybe
with
that's-
them.
I don't know.
The obviously they can get wobbly on the rails over time. That's a problem. They need to hopefully make a better solution for. They need to get rid of the plastic
You can
nubs.
tighten them, you know that, and it fixes it.
Yeah, I know. You they need to get rid of the plastic nubs and go to metal ones so you don't break them in terms of the locking system. Obviously, Joy-Con drift, obviously ergonomics. All of that is stuff that I would like to see improved. But my kids are going to be devastated if we're on a road trip and they can't take them off and play Mario Kart with just one little Joy-Con. Because here's the bottom line. We're not packing 17 damn controllers when we go on road trips, and they die too. Like, as a parent, it hurt me to hear what he was saying. Not because for my purposes, look, Dude, my Switch sits in a grip. I clearly don't take my Joy-Cons off, but I watch my kids do it. I watch my fiance when I hand her a Pro controller. I was looking for one around here. Oh, I have one over there. Anyways, when I hand my fiance a Pro controller, she goes, I prefer the Joy-Cons. Why? Because she likes that the sticks have less travel. I've never heard anybody tell me they like that the sticks have less travel. She does. And I'm sure she's not alone. Yeah, I'm sure she's not alone in that thought. So I'm like, you can't get rid of that option. And they talked about how, well, what they'll do is they'll pack a controller in. They ain't packing no controller in for $400. They're not giving you this and then throwing this in for $400. That's just not happening. So
I also
I think it's
exceeding $400 would probably.
I think it's an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah,
You gotta take a shot.
There was an interesting point made though.
Oh, it's
right?
Saffron.
back in.
It's
Yeah.
Saffron. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do it. Then.
Take a shot.
Yeah,
A point that was made
for the
though
road.
that I think is
You
worth
do, Eric.
That's my
considering
last
though
one
is
tonight,
that
though.
if they
Eric,
did
cut off.
go
I
away
have to
from
drive,
Joy-Cons,
And I'm on blood thinners. Not a good idea to drink a ton.
Fair enough.
Right.
but if
So,
they
yeah,
went away
three-
from
three is
Joy-Cons,
always
right,
his limit
they
every
could
time.
fit in the actual internals inside. You know, they would have
Don't
more
worry, I gave him the good
real
stuff.
estate
Yeah, thanks.
to fit things, like
It's your
fit
last
things in
one.
there.
That'll go hard.
I know.
You know what?
So,
I don't give a shit.
Sorry, Andres.
For Saffron.
Sorry,
that's
Andres.
all right. Let's just
Sorry, we got to get this done for Saffron.
We'll
I'm
continue.
getting
We'll pick back
bricked
when
up.
we're done
I'm
with
getting
there.
bricked up. My bad. Too bricked.
Nate's
Too bricked.
had a few, Andres. You gotta give him a little.
Whoa, now. Had a few. We haven't even got started. Jake, you
trying to
drink it,
defend you
know.
for interrupting. All right, I'm sticking up for you.
I'm
Don't. turn against
trying
me.
to give Saffron what she wants.
I know.
The people have spoken with money. I got to listen. All right, now you can go.
All right, Joy-Cons, Andres.
Oh yeah, no, I was just considering the other perspective, right? Because we do that here.
Yes.
You know, if you know, they did do away with the Joy-Cons, that would give them more like real estate internally to fit more in there, right? And so maybe that could even be a little bit cheaper as well. So that's an interesting perspective, but like for me, when I just think about not being able to facilitate things like Nintendo Labo, Switch Sports, Ring Fit Adventure,
It's $100
like,
shot, not a two.
that you're just taking away so much creativity
That's what I was looking
and
for the whole time.
options. I would be surprised if that's the direction they go. It'd be like Switch with less innovation.
Well, also they've been very
know.
much pro
What
motion
he was
control.
saying,
Right?
which was like that. Like, there's not going to be a big like gimmick or innovation with the Switch 2. It's going to be a better Switch. So why wouldn't they just make the Joy-Cons, whatever they are, just way better and improved, but still have that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would prefer better Joy-Cons that are more ergonomic. You know, I'm gonna buy a Pro controller separately anyway, right? Like I
Yeah.
agree with Mr. Prime, right? Like it makes sense to just have that separately, the same way Nintendo handled it with the Switch launch, and just give us better Joy-Cons.
Mhm.
I actually remember playing Breath of the Wild for a good while with just the Joy-Cons and the grip. It felt pretty good.
Yeah, and they've been. I mean, they
With the
did.
grip, yeah, it's great.
They did Wario move. Like they're pro motion control still. So if they get rid of that, I don't know if they're like gonna get away from motion control. They had it in Skyward Sword.
Yeah, it
they
just
had it
makes
in
sense.
Arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Also, goodbye Wii from NSO someday. You know, if you don't have
Mhm.
yeah.
that.
I'm with Nate on this. This kind of seems like more of like a want or like a wish list than
Yeah.
The entire. By the
What?
way, I want to be clear. I had no problem with him having his want and wish list stuff. I have a problem with him criticizing people like me for doing the same thing, and yet
That's true.
it's cool for him to do it.
Mm.
I didn't want to really get into it, but I'm going to get into it a little bit here because I'm going to be honest. His good old buddy MVG said he'll never come on one of my podcasts ever, and yet he's never talked about me. But he has the audacity to bring my name up on the Smoncast almost every single week.
MVG does.
MVG does it every week. It on purpose to shit talk me. And I'm just going to say I've never said anything negative about him. I've never said anything negative about Nate the Hate. I think they actually have a lot of value in the
I
community.
really like MVG as a person, but that
Yes,
makes me
I
kinda
think
sad.
MVG is an amazing developer. I appreciate his opinions on things. He's very knowledgeable. I don't appreciate being brought up in conversations I have no business being brought up in. I also don't appreciate that Nate the Hate thinks it's okay for him to speculate on things, but no one else is allowed to because he's an insider. And what I hate about that is because you're an insider, you actually shouldn't speculate so much because everyone takes what you say as fact. So you should maybe shut your mouth and stick to what you know and let your guests talk. Because when you talk, people think it's truth. When you know it's not. When I talk, nobody thinks it's truth because I ain't an insider. I'm gonna
I
leave it at
think,
that.
all right, to play devil's advocate, I think it would be fair for him when he talks to make it more clear. Is this
Yeah, there's
what
not
I
enough
think
transparency.
Yo, he's
based
not transparent
on-
about it at all.
Well, let me just finish. Is this what I think based on things that are real? So I'm guessing that this is probably real, or
Jerry.
The ninja.
I
like
love
I think,
it.
I think it would be
He's
more
trying to make a
important-
good point here, and it's like, nope, because the bit block said Jerry,
This is
Jerry,
second time,
Jerry, and Jake's like, nope.
Your mouth has
know.
been open like this.
Yeah,
when it
you
freezes.
pause, and your mouth is like you're just ready to take it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He's frozen again.
He's
Oh,
frozen
Yep,
again.
I keep,
With the
I keep
smirk
freezing.
this
My
time.
I wanted to
computer's
hear
been
him.
like this for like a month, and I don't know what's going on. But-
So we're gonna say I wanted to hear it.
Yeah, so what I was going to say was I think he could do a better job of like explaining what his statement is before he makes it. Like, okay, like
Yeah.
this is a prediction of mine, or this is something I think will happen based on these facts, but it's not something I've heard, or this is something I've actually heard from an insider. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if he could frame it better, I think that would be better. Or if he's not going, he doesn't have to. But I do agree with you that if he's not going to do that, maybe it's like it's not the nicest thing to like criticize other people for also doing
Clearly
the same thing
speculating.
and not making
Clearly
it crystal clear,
speculating.
because you're not making it crystal clear. You know, just like I don't know, we're all in the space, and like I think there's like a thing on YouTube where when someone's doing a similar thing to you and they're not part of your squad, there is this thing in you that's like a competitive thing, like it's almost like an ego thing, and it
Yeah.
makes you, you know, want to like shit on people or whatever. And I just think that like it's a human nature thing. It's so easy to get drawn up in that. But I think like we're adults here, you know, and like I think like that all of us like can just like chill and let everyone do their own thing. It's part of why I've stopped really doing YouTube, is because I don't like that part of it, and it's kind of like inherent. And I have a hard
I
time
hate
not
it.
feeling offended, you know, or you know, jealous sometimes,
Yeah.
or like upset that someone like takes something that I came up with and pass it on their own, or says something that goes against something I said when I know what I said was accurate. It's really hard not to feel that gut, but like I think it's really important to just treat everybody with respect. And if you can't, at least don't drag them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
I
That's
think
probably
it's
the-
odd for
that is the best
content
username.
creators.
It is.
Oh,
Clapping
yeah.
Zelda's cheeks. I love it.
I
I
can't.
love it. I love it. We'll
Yeah.
feature it in a
I
bit
mean,
because we'll feature it in a bit because it's going to be part of the Q&A section. But
That's
anyways,
funny.
yeah,
That's amazing.
That's great.
yeah, that's our last thing is the Q&A. So we already got 4 questions queued up for it. So
I just don't like speaking ill of other content creators. That,
yeah,
to me, it just-
I've got
that just
nothing
feels
against
odd.
MVG and Nate the Hate at all. Like I think they have value in the community. I think MVG is an amazing game developer, and he's brought a number of classic games over to Switch. I just don't like my name being brought up in conversations it doesn't deserve to be brought up in, and I don't like that. Be a man. You got a problem with me? Come talk to me. I've never had a conversation with him, and I'll give Nate the Hate some credit. I've asked him to come on our podcast before, and he actually had a legitimate excuse not to that week, and he has never badmouthed me in that sort of way. But somebody asking him, "Hey, why don't you come on Nintendo Prime's podcast?" He's like, "I'll never be on that show." Well, yeah, because you shit talk me on Spawncast every week. Well, you got a problem with me? Come talk to me about it. You don't want to talk to me about it? Then cheers.
Here's what you gotta
Also,
do.
like-
You gotta go to the Spawnwave Spawncast super chat, call them out.
Yeah, they
That's
won't
what-
feature it. John. Okay, so
He'll get rid of it.
no,
he'll
no,
get rid of it.
John.
Yeah.
John is a he's John and I have had many conversations over the years, and I've been on Spawncast before. He's he's just a really good dude, but he's super non-controversial. So if I super chatted, he will see it. He's not going to give an F. He'll probably just shit talk me more, and John will just sit back and go, "Yeah, we're not going to show that super chat on screen today."
I mean, in fairness, I probably wouldn't do it either. Right?
Yeah,
Like, I'm
I
not
mean,
doing-
and I'm not this kind of person that gets confronted. Like you see, I'm not shit talking them. I think they actually have value in the community. I just don't like that my name keeps getting brought up when you're not willing to even talk to me. So, at least Nate the Hate will respond when I DM him. So, that's all. I just
yeah.
hate it,
So hopefully Switch 2 is awesome though.
dude. Switch 2 is gonna be sweet. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't want to get into this. This is like a conversation I had behind the scenes at one point.
This is you having several shots.
No, I know this has nothing to do with the shot.
All right. I take it back. I apologize.
MVG was brought up, and I'm like, dude, I have no problem. This was said publicly, so I'm responding publicly. It is what it is.
Jedis don't speak in absolutes.
That's it.
Word.
Only Siths speak in
Yeah.
absolute.
That's the phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
But I mean, is there-
March seems early to me.
What's
don't know
early?
why.
For what?
Because he's saying
Why is it early?
it's going to be revealed before GDC,
Yeah.
before March 18th. Wow.
Yep. Do
That's
you think a
that's
partner
historic.
showcase doesn't point to that? Because that would mean Nintendo has
I
no
mean-
first party announcements.
I mean, having only a partner showcase in February without anything in January is
Because you got to remember, after March, it's literally Luigi's Mansion from Nintendo, Luigi's Mansion 2, and Thousand Year Door. They have nothing else on their slate.
there's no dates for those yet either.
Yeah. Only summer. So you got
I
like a
mean,
3-month window
You know,
for
I mean, they could do a
Luigi,
thing
but-
where they just have a direct in March. You know, like if it's one or the other, right? Like, I mean, that's a consideration, right? Like,
Yeah.
if we have a partner showcase in February, then I think we either I mean, we might need to have a direct in March regardless if all they do is a partner showcase. I think they need to make some
Sure.
announcements for April through June. So either those are in the partner showcase or they happen outside of it in some way.
Yeah. Well, and the BitBlock mentioned that Kit and Krista, former Nintendo employees, mentioned they think it's going to launch in summer. I think that also, when I listened, that it goes out that presumption they announced in March. They only gave us about 4 months and 2 weeks between announcement and release of Switch. And everyone, I don't know if you guys listen to a lot of Nintendo podcasts. Almost everyone's in agreement that Nintendo's going to do a shorter announce to release than most companies do, because everyone's starting to go to announce comes out 3 months later.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it can't come out in September, because as Andres Restart will kindly remind you guys, summer runs like 3 weeks into September. So at least in the United
Yeah.
States. I'm not saying that's true in other parts of the world, but in the United States, it runs 3 weeks into September. So that would still be summer.
Technically, summer.
But it's
Mhm.
entirely possible, and I'm not saying likely, but possible, that they announce in March and this thing's out in July or August. It could be done. I got to be honest. The Switch launched in March. So all that really matters for a successful launch isn't when they launch the system. It's what they launch it with, the demand
Mhm.
for it, and the continued lineup they have after it. If they have a very strong first 9 months, just like they did in 2017, it doesn't matter. They can launch it tomorrow. It would somehow be successful if you got Mario, Zelda, Xenoblade, Mario Kart, and all these other games coming in the first 9 months. So it's going to be all about the lineup, because what happened? I saw a tweet by Stealth today. Shout out to Stealth 40K. He's a stand-up guy. He put out a tweet mentioning that Nintendo president Furukawa in the Q&A brought up how much they believe exclusives really matter, which is the exact opposite of what Microsoft believes.
They do.
For selling systems. Then again, Microsoft wouldn't know what selling systems means. Sorry, I shouldn't throw shade like that.
Shots fired.
Microsoft is amazing. I own an Xbox. Game Pass is the greatest deal in gaming, but I mean they're going partially third party at least here coming up. What I believe here though is that what Furukawa was saying is that he believes the exclusives were a huge reason Switch was successful. And I
yeah.
don't think he's wrong, especially in that first year.
Mhm.
So if they have the lineup, it really doesn't matter when they launch it.
I mean, it
think it
wasn't
matters.
Super Bomberman R. It was
No.
Zelda. So,
Yeah. Nah, look, I owned all the launch games because I wanted to be the guy that could say, like, a weekend, dude, I own every Switch game.
Mhm.
yeah.
And then I sold them because they sucked. I kept
Yep.
Breath of the Wild, though. Oh, I kept 1-2 Switch for a while, too. I remember I worked at the YMCA at the time, and I was an after-school teacher. We would play a lot of 1-2 Switch with the kids. I actually understood what they were trying to do with 1-2 Switch because we would have like 40 people. All 40 of us could play. And that was wild.
Mhm.
And people were having fun. Unfortunately, I don't think most people at the launch of Switch have like 100 people that have Switch, like even know 100 people.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But I understood it. This should have been a packing game. I think people would actually look more fondly if it was a packing. But
Mhm.
no, will there be a pack-in for Switch too?
My
Mm,
first thought is no.
Yeah, my first thoughts no, but then if they look at
Hmm.
I kind of think if they look at 1-2 Switch and they look at Wii Sports, they might go, maybe we need that pack in that can hit on a bigger audience.
But what's
The
the
Switch
ideal
2
pack-in?
I mean, like we can talk about another sports game.
I was
like
gonna say
Switch
Switch,
Sports.
another.
But-
I don't
Switch
think
Sports,
I don't think it's gonna have one because you look at the previous titles that had previous consoles that had pack-in, and it was more like proof of concept of the system. Like the
Yeah,
Wii had
I
a
feel like
motion
this is going to
control.
be iterative, right? Like, do you
Well,
guys
we're
think there's
gonna
going to be a
see-
gimmick, like a really
Yeah,
big
4K
gimmick they can improve?
graphics.
A 4K demo.
That's all I need. But
That's why Ocarina of Time Remake is going to be a 4K.
oh,
Zelda
don't
game
even.
as
Are
the
we going
pack-in.
back to that? Wait. I got to
It's a
ask you,
joke.
Andres.
It's a
No, I
joke.
got to ask you, Andres, because we both been covering that for a while and the possibilities and how it makes sense.
Sure.
Do we have like any legit rumors for it besides Zippo? Because Zippo is now on my ultimate shit list.
Well,
I think
first
it makes
off,
everything up.
if you guys watch my videos on it, I always refer to it as a theory, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's
I
a
know.
much
That's
better-
why I'm
it's a- it's
asking
a-
you if there's.
It is a much better theory than it is a rumor.
Yes.
But there was I mean, I would say pretty much no. However, this is a concept that's been around for years already, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like anything really new. But when I decided to start talking about it last year, right? And then mysteriously Zippo started talking about Ocarina of Time right after I did. And then we saw the Circon Toto thing, and then everything
Wait.
kind of
Is Andres Zippo?
no. That is so off.
No.
How dare you.
Why are you? Why are you
Hold
so
on. Time
flustered
out.
all of a sudden?
Time out. Jake, what have you said previously on this podcast? That Andres is one of the most intelligent people talking about Nintendo you've ever heard.
Yeah,
Now
it's
go
like
read
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
No, go read a Zippo post and tell me that, like, come on.
Hey,
on.
all I
He's got
remember about
spelling
Zippo
mistakes in it.
is he leaked the Skyward Sword Direct and got like over half the things. Everything he had was on it.
Congrats. He made a really safe prediction
There
based
are-
on Aonuma
Every
talking
single
about it.
he had like a list of over 20 things and every single one of them was in there.
It is interesting
single one.
with Zippo, because for them I feel like a lot of things he says are wrong, but then there's always like occasionally something that comes up and like
Yeah.
that's strangely on the money, right? Like apparently he like, for example, was DMing Papagenos, and he said there was gonna be a partner showcase and that there'd be a Switch to reveal shortly afterwards. The only caveat is that he thought the partner showcase was in January, which, whatever. But anyways, what were we gonna talk about? before that?
Do I need to go over the 90% of things he's been wrong about? Because
No,
I'll waste your entire night.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, I can see why some people might argue, well, there is like that 10% or 5% of things that end up being right. And so,
Throw enough
you know,
shit at the wall, you'll eventually be
here's,
right.
here's what I'm saying though. I agree with you. Like 90% is wrong, right? But like when he hits on something, it's not like, oh, like 1 out of every 10 things. Like he'll have one thing that has
Yeah.
25 things in it, and every
Yeah.
single one.
It's almost like he scours Family boards and just copy paste.
yeah,
right.
that's
But
kind
then
of my
only
first
some of
thought.
them would be right, but all 25 were right.
By the way,
on that
Zippo
one. And it was
hates
crazy,
Nintendo
including what the
Prime.
big announcement was.
Well, Zippo hates me. He hates
Oh,
RGT as well.
hates. I didn't see the RGT hate, but I'm sure
He's put RGT in his articles of how much he hates him.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where the track record isn't strong enough at all for me to like cover it often, ever. But I mean, I've definitely talked about it before, but there's
He
usually
tried
like
to
an
take
extended-
credit for Sonic Generations, and it was leaked 4 days before he put his post up.
I don't know. Yeah. But anyways, back to the Ocarina of Time thing, right?
I love it. Just ignore it because Jake's trying to put up a defense for us, and I'm like, dude, Zippo is fake as
I mean,
fuck.
no, I think we're on the
He's
same
like a
page.
Tommy Bear nose to me.
We're on
No,
the
no.
same page.
Tommy Bear,
None of
yeah,
us- none
I
of
Zippo
us-
really
told me
are
a
too.
watch and
I'm
it
with you. I'm
immediately
not-
exploded into 1,000 pieces.
I'm not defending Zippo. I'm just
You-
saying that like he has something where like I think he has a genuine connection somewhere, but like when his connection doesn't have info for him, like he'll just kind of pull it from what like he's
So-
trying to get it from every sources, and only one of his sources is legit, and he might not even have that source anymore. But I think he did at one point.
Maybe. It's possible though. He's just on some sort of. There are different gaming forums out on there where there are people with sources that share information occasionally, right? And so he might be one
He
of
might have
those,
lucked out on one of like a couple times.
right? And
on-
see, he just kind of
Yeah.
knows who.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's pretty good at that, and so it may just be a good researcher.
Mhm.
Like Samus Hunter.
Yeah, and maybe.
Samus Hunter had a 100% track record for like 6 months. Turns out she was copying all her rumors from other places.
Can we go back to Ocarina of Time though?
Yes,
Yes.
that was the
Yeah.
original question.
Yeah,
Sorry, Zippo only came out because Zippo was
Right.
someone who posted a public rumor
I
about it.
technically brought him up because I was just explaining when I
Yeah.
brought back the Ocarina of Time stuff because I
I wanted
decided
to
do
know if
some
there was
research.
more to it than that, other than
Yeah.
just us
Well, the thing is
speculating.
that so there it was though. You remember Game Over Jesse used to talk about Ocarina of Time HD a few years back.
years ago,
so
yeah.
That's kind of there's that, right? And so now the thing is that's Ocarina of Time HD is not what would be on Switch,
Sure.
But maybe that was a project at one point and maybe it was pushed or it's just it was also then not really a legit thing. It's hard to there's a few different ways you could interpret it, right? But regardless, I don't really find any of the rumors to be super, super strong. But the theory I think is fantastic because Nintendo needs to have something major for the 3D Zelda fan base early on for Switch 2. And so they probably can't put in a whole new game. And then we look at some interviews literally with Onuma, right? One where he mentions the character Raru, right? And how he doesn't think fans really know who that character is anymore. But then the even bigger one with the Game Informer interview where he was literally asked, are you guys going to remake Ocarina of Time? And he responds, no comment. Considering the context that he was in another interview recently where he was asked about making a Zelda Dungeon Maker and he just cut that idea out immediately, right? So he's letting us entertain.
Yeah, we've talked about that
Ocarina of
before.
Time.
Yeah.
Right, but he asked me the question and Nintendo Talk hasn't been here, so
No. I wasn't saying to stop. I was just like
Oh,
remembering when we talked about it.
see, it's in my head now because people were pissed off at me for updating a topic earlier today, but whatever.
Oh, no. That's not what I
Yeah.
meant.
But
Continue,
anyway,
sorry.
yeah. So I just think that there's like literal things. There's other stuff, right? But that's just kind of like some of the points. Like that I feel like make it more. It makes more sense for Nintendo to remake a Zelda game early on for Switch 2. Just out of like pure logic, right? And then Ocarina of Time seems like a good bet, especially based off some interviews.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a launch
think you're-
title though.
I think it does make sense. Like all that stuff just makes it more likely, not less.
I mean, let's consider this. Like, what if Nintendo doesn't have any sort of 3D Zelda anything for first like 3 years of Switch or Switch 2? Like, do you think that's a good idea? I don't.
Nope. Yeah, I don't either. Got to be
They
something.
definitely need Zelda, but they don't. I don't think they need the level of Breath of the Wild. Like
Right.
I
which
think
is why
Twilight
Ocarina of
Princess
Time
HD
would be
or
kinda
The Wind
nice.
Waker comes this year, and next year is going to be a new remaster of something that we don't expect. I mean, it could be Ocarina of Time, which I guess we expect, but
Tears of the Kingdom
Bananas make me
Deluxe.
tired.
well, I'm going to say this: Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, I think, are both going to get 4K overhauls for Switch 2, and I think they're going to happen in the first year. Whether or not they're patches you can buy or they re-release them, that's going to be the big debate. But
That'd be dirty.
Well, I mean, look, if they're paying attention to Sony, then they like to get real dirty, real just right up in there.
$70 game re-released, another $70.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd
Yeah.
be down for like an expansion.
Mhm.
But they've also told us multiple times that they're not going to do DLC.
So
I just
we
don't-
haven't talked about this yet. Like, what are your guys' like biggest fears for this system before it's announced? Like what are you worried about?
I'm worried
Bad
that there
name.
isn't a Zelda remake.
Okay.
I think a stupid name and bad marketing to go with that name.
Yeah. Yep.
Yay! It's a Switch for you, baby.
Yeah. Right. God.
Switch you.
Oh Lord.
I
Oh,
think
I'll
just
tell-
it.
Here's
Second
a,
time around.
I got a concern. This is actually a legit concern. I'm worried about the triggers. Every time it
Why?
happens, every time Nintendo launches. Like I remember with the Wii U, we're like, oh, those look like they could be analog triggers, and they
But they're
weren't.
not.
Right?
They weren't.
And
no.
then when the Switch came out, we were like, oh, those look like they could be analog triggers. There's a little bit of a space there, and they were not. Right. And so
yeah.
I
thought they
fear
were
that it's
digital.
going to happen again, where they're going to show us a new controller, and we're like, oh, there's a bit of space there. It might finally be analog triggers.
All right,
and
let me
it's
ask you.
not Gonna be.
It's been
I hope
7
it's not.
years. Do you miss analog triggers for any of the games you play on Switch?
So, no, because the games on Switch aren't made with analog triggers in mind.
Mario Sunshine,
So do we need them then?
Mario All Stars.
I would argue that Mario Sunshine would have felt a little bit better with analog triggers. They make it work, but it's better with it. Also, there's a lot of racing games and shooting games that would benefit from analog triggers. I
Agreed.
mean, just giving more options. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
two could be a lot
will
better
admit,
with analog
Sunshine,
triggers.
Sunshine and 3D All Stars, because obviously that was a huge one with analog back in the day. I don't know what voodoo magic they pulled off, but it actually kind of just works with digital triggers. I don't really know how they made that happen.
That you think that until you play it with analog triggers again, like it really is nice to being able to control the stream. You're a guy. You know what I mean. Sometimes you want to pull
I
back.
do.
Especially if you're playing
I don't
Conquest
get why.
Saturday.
Jake, I don't know about you. I'm always full sail.
Especially if you're playing
as quick
Conquest
as
Saturday,
possible,
it's
baby.
very
Quick
nice
as
to
possible.
control the stream.
There's a way to communicate with the guy in the urinal next to you if you go back.
No, I'm gonna tell you
Then
right
you go
now. I've
full-
never communicated with the guy next to me in the urinal when I'm going.
How have you made any friends ever?
Well,
It's
not
the
in
only way to meet
bathroom.
people.
Let me
I
make one-
literally never met someone in the bathroom. It is what it is.
that's fascinating. I'm going to make one more argument for analog triggers, right? So with the Switch 2, we're hearing a lot about, the visual prowess of it, right? And how it's going to be able to run a lot of third-party games, right? We have the Call of Duty deal. I think now more than ever, Nintendo's primed to have the best third-party support they've ever seen. And so having a system with analog triggers would actually be quite fitting with that, because guess what? That is the industry standard. Now,
Mhm.
I don't think
True.
analog triggers are a deal breaker. Right? If it turns out Switch 2 doesn't have them, I'm not going to be like, oh, Switch 2 is screwed.
No, we're getting Microsoft
I'm just gonna be
games
like,
and Call
oh,
of
that
Duty and
sucks.
stuff? Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think it makes sense.
Yep.
My biggest fear is the power of the system, because
It's like a
whatever
coin machine.
Mm,
whatever we
Excellent.
get with this next system, we're gonna
Oh,
have
good
for
point.
another 5 to 7 years. So
Mhm.
it's like,
yeah.
like the Switch was already underpowered. It was like, so the
Sure.
next system, they don't need a lot of power for Nintendo games, but third party is important.
We're not
so-
ready for those Switch 2 Pro rumors in 2025. You know
Oh,
what's
God.
happening.
But
It'll probably
regardless,
happen.
I always have a problem with the pro stuff, though, right? Because I always hear this argument whenever the pro things start coming around, like, oh, well, they need a more powerful system for third parties. But here I'm thinking, yeah, but you can put out a pro, but there's still a base model has the same power. And
Right.
so third party
But-
games won't be for that.
New 3DS had exclusive games, including Minecraft.
Yeah,
Just
and
throwing it out there.
Nintendo
That was a
and
big game.
Nintendo cut the cord on those new games.
Didn't it
those
have like
exclusives.
3?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it didn't.
Well,
go
I
very
don't
well.
think Nintendo cut the cord on it. I think companies realize we can't just sell to a tiny audience. We got to sell to the
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah, it's just not. It doesn't.
But I'm
doesn't
just
work.
saying, Minecraft was one of those big ones, and Minecraft actually had really good sales on 3DS, which you could only play it on new 3DS.
Minecraft
so-
is also huge.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, another
the-
fear I have is if they get rid of Mii's. I want Mii's still. Keep Mii's.
Yeah, especially with that, because we usually have like that
You know what'd be
game,
cool?
like a
Honestly,
Switch
I
They
mean,
Sports
need
or
like a
Adventureland.
new thing with Mii's, like a new. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
Cool.
think that should be like a launch title. not the launch title, a launch title.
That
Well,
could be
if
a packing
Connor
game.
was here, he'd say just bring Tamagotchi life back and we're good.
That could be the
Tamagotchi
packing
Life
game.
too.
That'd be
But
cool.
as a launch title,
Tamagotchi
you need a
Life
casual game. You
Ultimate.
need a casual game.
doesn't feel like the right kind of casual game to launch.
What do you think is going to be the
That is
casual game? then?
slander.
Mario
Well,
Kart.
Not at launch. No way.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I mean, didn't Mario Kart 8 pretty
You
much?
see,
launch?
they're gonna pair Mario Kart with 3D Mario at launch. That would be literally the most insane launch of any system of all time.
Well,
I
maybe
mean,
like
I
a
mean-
couple months out. Month
There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
mean,
yeah,
I think-
that I could see. Yeah,
well, hey, hold on. Are you bullying him into changing his opinion?
I
He
was
said he
just saying,
thinks
they'll
Mario
bring a
Kart's
3D
launch
Mario-
title.
grown man. He can change his opinion if he wants to.
Look, Mario
think-
Kart is the biggest thing they have, right? We know that.
Keep it fucking clean.
Mario Kart would have a bigger impact than a 3D Mario. I think.
Interesting.
So you think it should be a launch game?
I think so. I mean, that's the game
Push 3D
everyone
Mario?
plays. Yeah, push it a little bit. Why not? We've waited this long.
That is
Mhm.
interesting. They've never launched a system with a Mario Kart, but it is technically their strongest IP, like legit. Hmm.
And we technically didn't get a
Haven't
new
happened
one.
since
which is-
2014. We haven't had a new one since 2014. It's been like a decade.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
That
that's
would
one
be
way to sell.
Dude, that would be
People,
insane.
people keep thinking I'm changing my name, and it's you. 'Cause I always change it.
Oh, I thought it
What
was
are you
you.
talking
Oh
about?
no! Oh no!
exactly.
I have
it's-
not touched my keyboard this entire stream. I don't know. what you're
Uh-huh.
talking about.
So I'll say that I don't think Mario Kart's gonna be a launch title, but I definitely agree it's coming out. It has to come out soon because, like, to your point, like they launched like with the set. It came
Oh.
out April, right? It was such a big thing. My prediction has been by the end of the next fiscal year, so by March 2025. And Nintendo has liked having like those really big megatons in that March time. Not every
Sure.
month, but a lot of the time it has been. And so I feel like you know, if it's not out by this holiday, I definitely think that March period is like when we see the next Mario Kart. We're not far off. I definitely think it's at least getting revealed this year.
So getting back to my biggest fear. Look, we talked about name, we talked about launch light, whatever. I am actually worried that there'll be a really massive game at launch, like a Mario Kart, right? Or a 3D Mario. Then they'll have a Mario Kart a few months later, whatever.
Maybe Yoshi's Story.
Absolutely nothing.
But I'm worried that there might be a gap because they're trying to appease third parties. And so they're trying to get all these big third party games their own window in the first 9 months. And we will have like a 6-month gap to the next. I'm not saying the next Nintendo game. There'll be ports but they might get too reliant on like, oh, here's the Kingdom in 4K. That's going to be the big one. Mario Odyssey in 4K. That's going to be the big one. And that in that first year, instead of hitting it hard like 2017, they got 2 heavy hitters in the first 3 months. And then they think they can coast for another 6. And I know that doesn't
No,
seem
I think
likely.
they have so much stuff ready to go. I
No,
don't think
Oh,
that's
yeah,
gonna
I'm
I,
with you,
again,
Jake.
this is a fear. This is not reality.
Not an
Yeah.
expectation.
Right.
No,
Mhm.
I expect them to have a loaded first year
It's a
because
dumb fear to have. Why are you fearful?
look
you're
at
gonna win
this
revenue?
year. But it's a fear because Nintendo has done it before.
Oh, I have a fear. Another fear. I have a fear that the next Mario Kart won't have an awesome single player campaign.
Another fear, they don't fix the eShop.
Another fear
Oh God.
being
Yeah.
that they
Yeah, they give us the same eShop. That'll piss me
Yeah.
off so much.
another fear being that they being so stubborn that they force the same Joy-Cons on us and not fix the goddamn
They don't fix the
Joy-Con
drift? Oh my god, we
Another
get Joy-Con
fear
drift
is
again.
honestly no actual voice chat or direct messaging.
I mean, there's
Boom,
that too.
boom.
Yeah.
Gotta still use an app and then it's limited. Oh man. Another fear. They for some reason because we got away with Switch. We don't support Bluetooth headphones at launch just because. Just
Oh,
because. Every
oh,
Switch
yeah.
has Bluetooth, but just because.
yeah, or at least give me an audio jack
Another fear.
No audio
Sakurai
jack, yeah, that would
leaves
suck.
YouTube.
on the controllers. The Switch itself has one, but the controllers
Sakurai
need an audio
stopped
jack.
his YouTube channel to start an OnlyFans, and then I miss out on OnlyFans revenue because of competition.
Are
Okay.
you saying? Oh, wait, are you confirming Sakurai is a 2-inch?
I mean, if I was a betting man,
That's a
if,
yeah,
I was a gambling man,
He could
Yo,
be a
do
destroyer.
we think we're gonna get Smash soon? Then
I don't know where they go with Smash.
The
Like-
2-inch smasher versus the 2-inch
Well,
square. Oh, we can collapse.
so-
There you go.
Sakurai hasn't really given any hints at what the future is for Smash, other than that he's going to be involved. But he said that for Smash to continue, Nintendo needs to let him do something new and fresh with it. I don't know what
Yeah.
that is, and they're going to let him do it. Of course they are. So I don't know, but I can understand a concern that whatever that new and fresh thing is just doesn't work. And I know Sakurai makes bangers, even like, you know, Kid Icarus Uprising. People who played that game love that game. So I get it that he just kind of makes bangers, but it's always one of those, man, Ultimate was like the perfect direction, but it's also impossible to follow. So how do you follow? What if he fumbles the follow, you know?
I think I'll challenge your the use of the word impossible. I know that was just an exaggeration.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
I
Nothing's
think
impossible, obviously.
you look at Mario Wonder, right?
A lot
And
of
I
things
think
are
sometimes
impossible.
sure, yeah, like blowing up the sun with your ass. But like
See?
you know, I think making a good Smash game is not that hard by
Did
comparison.
not have that on my bingo card.
No,
Yeah.
gonna change my bingo card for next week.
So I'm blowing up. Here we go. Through butt.
Specifically
True, but-
ass, probably Wario related. Got it.
I mean actually.
Yeah,
what's-
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
That-
Wario would do something like that in the WarioWare. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I'm just saying though, like you look at Mario Wonder, right? And that I think that added a lot to the 2D Mario formula, right?
Sure.
And I think a lot of people sort of thought, well, where do you go with 2D Mario after Mario Maker?
Yeah.
But they clearly showed it, and from everything we've heard of interviews, they have a whole bunch more ideas, right? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like they were running out. Like there's a whole bunch, right? And so, you know, what can they do with Smash? I mean, honestly, I think they probably should just keep it as is because it's kind of like Mario Kart. You know, whenever someone sees Mario Kart, regardless of which gen, everyone who's not even a big gamer is like, "Oh, Mario Kart. All right, I could jump in." And so I think Smash needs to stay that way as well. But that doesn't mean they can't, for example, give us a kick-ass single player, right? Like I think they honestly should just do like a Subspace Emissary, but just make it better.
Oh, stop being afraid
Dude,
to cut
Smash
things,
is
man.
gonna end up like Pokemon. There's gonna be like
Also,
151
Better online.
freaking characters.
Let's do it.
It's gonna be absolutely insane.
All right,
Actually,
we're gonna
actually, one last thing. Sorry, in
Yeah,
terms
you're
of
fine.
Smash.
You're fine.
Because something that Nintendo has started doing now is that Splatoon has had a series of updates, right? ARMS had it, right? I bet they might do it with Mario Kart, but also, you know what? They should probably do it with Smash as well. Like, have it be like a game that there is like a more of an online community and there's active events and updates going moving forward. Obviously, fighters that takes time to polish up, but there's other things you can do. I mean, they have the spirit events and stuff, so it's something they've already dabbled with. Like that helps gives the game more legs, and it'll get people interested for a new one.
Well, since Eric is so bored, he's playing a mobile phone game.
Dude, they should make
what
an
you
Animal
talking about?
Crossing fighting game.
We're gonna flip the
play
script.
that.
We're gonna get to our
That'd be
Q&A section. If you guys have any questions, you can just super chat them in as low as $2 to get them in. We got 4 already ready to go. We got
Because remember,
backup,
guys, 2 is more than enough.
backup account 156 drops a $5, says hot take. Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS is just as amazing as Super Mario 3D World for the Switch. Both are 10 out of 10. Thoughts?
I don't
Sure.
think that's a hot take.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's a hot take at all. I think that's
Yeah.
just legit.
I think they're both great games.
I don't know who was it that thinks
10
like,
out of 10? I don't know about 10 out of 10, but like it's up there. They're
Yeah.
both up there.
I don't know why
Yeah.
people think 3D Land is bad. I loved it.
Dude, 3D, it's a lot harder.
Is it?
Ew, go play the original and then play 3D Land. It's a harder game.
I would say like
Did Nate
8
just
out of
admit he
10.
sucked at games?
But they're still both really good. Like,
Yeah,
for the
they're-
way
yeah.
it's systems,
What's
like,
the original?
Are you serious? Super Mario Brothers? What are we talking about?
Are you saying 3D Land is harder than Super Mario Brothers?
Yes.
Well, 3D Land's a different style of game, though.
That doesn't defeat what I just said.
I don't know. I guess I just didn't find it that hard.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Well, I'm glad we got some pro gamers in the.
Well, I
chat.
mean, if I remember correctly, I just abused the Tanuki suit.
So Boo Mini said, which Zelda game do you feel is most difficult? Questions for everyone.
Probably Majora's Mask.
The one that pops in my head right away.
Is you squint into the camera? Got it.
Oh,
Uh,
actually, Zelda 2. Zelda 2.
I was gonna be, you actually thought Majora's Mask was harder than Zelda 2. That's
Well,
interesting.
no, I was just thinking about how many years it took me to. First of all, I was thinking 3D Zelda first because I'm a millennial. But
Oh,
Come on, work. Thank you. Oh.
it's working. Well, okay, while it's working, Jake, what was yours?
It was Cadence of Hyrule because I could not get the fucking rhythm down, and it pissed me off.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. If you can't get the rhythm, that sucks. Yeah.
yeah.
How about
I don't,
Nintendo?
though.
What do you got? What's your most difficult Zelda for you?
Zelda 2 because it's difficult to enjoy it.
Shots fired. I think that's
I say
Nate's
Zelda
favorite game.
1
It's
is more
Nate's
difficult
favorite
to
Zelda.
enjoy.
Well,
No, second, no,
third favorite Zelda.
Ooh.
Get out of here. That's a top 5 game for Zelda.
you.
For Zelda, not top 5 all time.
Ouch.
What are you? Damn it. You and me are gonna have some problems. You and me are gonna have some real problems.
I just
I
don't
hope
think
you
it's
do
fair.
a live
on the podcast.
Dude, I hope you do a live
We won't be
stream in
seeing you again.
2024 that involves if people super chat, you get punished because you're not gonna like me by the end of that stream.
I just think it's
Um,
not a good style for Zelda, like a Zelda game. But
It was
It's-
nice having you on the podcast when we did Nintendo Talk.
You can ignore my invite for next month. No, most difficult for me. So I don't find any of the Zelda games to actually be that difficult, but in terms of like most, it's gonna be Triforce Heroes only because the single player is tedious. So it's not difficult, but it's just not like super fun single player. And the problem with multiplayer is all the online people would just chuck me off the map every time.
Mhm.
And so then that's not fun either because they're just trolling you the whole time. Now, this doesn't mean that I think it's a bad game. It's just you have to have friends. You have to have 2 other friends that are going to be in the room with you to play it with you. And I only had Eric. So we always had someone
Hey, now.
online that
No.
was trolling the shit out
Yeah,
of us.
yeah.
And so it's just the way it's designed, but I don't actually think it's bad. You know what I mean? Because I don't think any of the Zelda games are bad besides the CDI ones. Which, look, if we're gonna count the CDI one, Zelda's Adventure is actually the most difficult. But I figured Boo Mini was probably talking about the Nintendo made ones. So
We didn't need to talk about that, but okay.
Yeah, I really want to get
Eric.
to the BitBlocks question.
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Dude, he's down the list a little. We got 2 more
I mean-
questions before BitBlock.
Goodness.
Eric, most
I
difficult
haven't
Zelda for
really
you?
played a whole lot of the Zelda games.
Well,
so that's
then
the
good. You
problem.
have a limited selection. Let's
right?
go. Most
Ooh.
difficult
I don't know. I kind of agree with you on that one. I
because
mean,
you did try for
I mean, we tried so damn hard to get that damn walkthrough written.
Oh my god.
We
It was the worst.
It was.
Oh,
definitely
guys,
difficult.
chucking us off the map. This is really
Cool.
helping us.
Yeah, right.
now. Very frustrating. We will get. You know what? Because Andres is a co-host, we will go to the BitBlock first. What is the sexiest Pikmin?
Never played it, so
Blue
I'm
Pikmin.
already in there.
What is
Because
wrong with
they
you,
like
Eric?
to get
Borrow my
wet.
Switch today. Play
Oh.
Pikmin.
Well,
What is going on?
okay, so Jake, your logic is that blue Pikmin are wet. So I mean, that's,
They like to get wet.
they like to get- that's-
They do
that's-
love
love
it.
to get wet.
Yeah, I'm personally a bit divided on this one because on one hand you have the purple Pikmin, which are
Andres
voluptuous
is sexually
Pikmin,
attracted to many Pikmin.
right?
So
And
just
then,
so you guys
but
know.
then the pink flying Pikmin, they're just so elegant and
Mhm.
graceful.
they get them
So
bricked up.
It's tough.
They
Yeah,
do.
They're both sexy in their own ways.
Agreed.
it's red. It's
Mm.
obviously red.
And
Come on now.
and what is it? Because they're fire?
Yeah. I mean, you just
Oh,
know
they
it's
are hot.
appealing. I don't have
Yeah.
reasons, but
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're plentiful, right?
yeah.
It's like that thing. It's like, what's the best part about having sex with 23-year-olds? There's
No
20
boy.
of them.
Oh boy.
Look,
Oh boy, we went there.
look. I might
No,
not like
boys.
mushrooms in real life, but the Puffmen do it for me.
Whoa.
Throwing that out. No one was going to bring up the Puffman.
I think we can agree that all the Pikmin are fuckable. All right, I think that's
I
what I'm
wasn't
getting here.
going
Oh,
there.
It
Jake,
wasn't
but
just. I mean, oof.
If that's the
You want-
case, what are the rock ones called? Because I need a hard one.
They literally
Oh
that.
yeah,
Rock
they are
Pikmin.
literally
Yeah,
bricked
rock
up
Pikmin. I
always.
thought that's what they were called.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
me. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, he needs to
Yeah.
go and look at Pikmin right now. He like can't even wait.
Eric is right now. He's got the
Yeah.
whole line.
I do. I have the whole.
They
lineup
got
here.
some high res
For some
photos.
godly
of
ass
those
reason, the camera just switched to
and they're
follow.
free.
Hey, it's following him. How you doing?
Ooh,
I don't
Ghost
know how it
Pikmin
did that,
though.
but
Yeah,
Well,
the Ghost
I'll fix
Pikmin
it.
are pretty cool.
we're good.
Hopefully, we're good. I have no idea. It's still following you. It is what it is. Whatever, Eric. You are the center of attention of
Sure.
your own camera. So, what Pikmin, buddy? For someone who's never played, just looking at the
Never played it.
aesthetics of the
I
Pikmin.
don't know that white one
This
with
is
the
a
red eyes.
pure
Freaking weird.
the
I like it.
white one.
Yeah, the white one with the red eyes is kind of freaking.
Oh, there we
Crazy.
go.
Oh, so
Oh,
you're
wait.
racist.
Totally.
Eric only
Damn.
likes boys.
Father.
So I'm gonna reverse this to the chat.
God
Bitblock.
damn mother.
What's your favorite Pikmin? And do you find any of them effable? Because Jake claims they all are. So
We've made cases for literally everyone.
We haven't
mean,
brought
I-
up yellow Pikmin yet.
Pikmin are like people. Everyone is sexually attractive to someone.
That
Sure.
is
that is
Hey,
not
you
a
know what?
feeling I've ever
You're
felt towards
watching this
Pikmin.
chat,
so
someone
much
out
depth.
there would
There
do
we go.
that.
Bitblock has it. The rock Pikmin stay hard all night long. That's the answer.
Yeah, there you
Vanata
go.
712 came in and said, "What game do you actually like?" But
I
for
agree,
whatever
Captain
reason,
Doge. the purple Pikmin are begging for it.
oh my god,
Sorry.
Okay.
Vanata,
God,
this is a good question. This is a tough
that's why
question.
they move so
Yeah.
around so
This is a
slowly.
very tough question. What game do you actually like, but for one reason or another couldn't actually finish? He mentioned that Advance Wars got buried for me under Future Redeemed and Tears of the Kingdom. So, like,
Yeah,
what's
that
a
happened to me
game that
too.
you love, but you just for some reason you have not finished it?
The Advance Wars is that for me. Fire Emblem Engage as well. There was just a lot of games that came out at the beginning of the year that I just need to get back to. Beginning of last year. It's already 2024. Oh my god. They're already about to reveal Switch 2.
shit.
Oh my god.
No
maybe.
shit. Yeah, right.
Crazy.
This game
I
is
need to actually
technically
play
on
the
Switch.
Switch.
But Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh,
I
okay.
beat it on the PSP, but I'm not playing it on Switch. I'm playing it on PlayStation for the trophies, and I can't complete it because I'm obsessively trying to 100% it, and it just got to be like more of a. Even though it's really fun, so like I just like can't complete it now.
Mm.
Yeah,
Damn.
Advance Wars is probably one of my answers, but oddly enough, I never finished Age of Calamity, and I liked it. I
Interesting.
think something may have come out during then. I don't know.
Pikmin 3
I do
Deluxe.
leave a lot of RPGs incompleted, like turn-based ones too, like Bravely Default 2.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest name ever because there was Bravely Default and then Bravely Second, and then instead of Bravely Third, it was Bravely Default 2, even though there was Bravely Second. But whatever.
Sure. Okay. For me, it's Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I've beaten the first and the second.
How
Yeah,
are
why
we
would you
still
finish
friends?
mid game?
What?
Why'd you finish this crap game?
Look,
That's
I
what
don't
I
care
said,
what
yeah.
Jake says about this.
Yeah.
I actually really
Don't even
enjoy
feel
my.
that way. I'm just fucking with
No,
Andre.
I really enjoyed my time that I have like 20 hours into Xenoblade 3. And I'm not really sure what happened, like what led to me stop playing it because I was having fun the whole time. I don't know if it was just work, life, my kids. I have no idea, but for some reason I've never finished it. And because of that, I'll probably never finish the DLC, which pisses me off because I finished 1 and 2 plus the DLC. And I've heard so many great things about how the DLC wraps everything up, but I'm not gonna, I gotta beat the game first. So it's one of those I keep telling myself I'm gonna go back and actually beat. And I'm so glad Nish Quick Pops isn't on this week because he would be screaming at me right now for not finishing this game.
I'll tell you that you could play Future Redeemed before playing the main campaign of 3.
But I still won't. I
Yeah.
gotta finish where I started.
Either way is fine. I do think Future Redeemed does a good job of wrapping things up in a way, but 3, I mean, either way, you'll be fine.
But yeah, that I don't know why I've just never really finished. I have no excuse because I actually enjoy it a lot. But that's the whole point. It's a game you really, really like. I'm like, I don't know what it is. I just never finished.
Okay,
Hey.
there's a question that I want to address.
I've got a
here.
question for everyone too.
This one's more important. It's real quick.
Whoa,
So,
whoa,
all right. So,
Well, maybe
Captain
she'll feel that
Doge.
way after I ask it. But go ahead.
We'll just wait till I finish. Captain Doge here in the chat says, Jake, why is there nothing on your OnlyFans page? And I think you
answered
just have to look more carefully.
No, there's actually a real
OnlyFans?
reason.
Oh yeah.
That's a good response. There's a real reason.
/2-inch destroyer. All right. My question was, I just thought I'd throw this like a fun thing that we can talk about. Everybody, let's go around. And what's your favorite race? Go, Eric.
Any track in Mario Kart 8, that's fine.
Yeah. I was gonna say. God damn it.
I'm not gonna lie. If anyone ever asks you your favorite
Name
race in
500.
real
There you
life,
go.
there's only one wrong answer.
Just, I don't
Daytona
know what just
500. There you
happened.
go.
We're gonna move on to something that is just an amazing username. Clapping Zelda cheeks.
Hell yeah.
Do you think? And the funny thing is, it's a serious question.
Yeah.
I love the username. Do you think if it's in the direct, it's a if, is Twilight Princess a port from Wii U or a bit more HD?
If we're
Or did
seeing it
extra
in this
work?
first, if we're seeing it soon, it's basically just a straight rip from Wii U with just some minor modifications to work on Switch.
Mm,
Yeah,
Maybe
it's gonna be like a
60
Skyward
FPS.
Sword.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
I kind of agree, just because of how much they have with that game. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just, you know what? Screw it. They went full Wii U tech demo. That's where I'm at right now. They just redid the whole thing
For Switch or for
Yes.
Switch 2?
for Switch.
Maybe added like
Mega
some,
seller, 10 million
gimmicky-
seller dropping this summer.
Oh, I mean that'd be hype as hell.
They
That's
probably
not
added
possible.
some
People
amiibo
might
feature.
forget the hype for Switch too if this is dropping on Switch.
Yeah. I'll say that if they did that, I hope they change the AI for the enemies and make the bosses actually hard.
Yeah, the Dark Nuts shouldn't be harder than the bosses. And like that's like a legit thing for like half the bosses in the game.
Right?
Actually, maybe every it might be every boss, to be honest. Like the bosses seem so epic when you face them.
but they're
It's such an
basically giant teddy bears.
The atmosphere is amazing, and then you're done in like 5 minutes because they're not that hard.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
like a
remix the
problem.
boss fights. Keep the designs, just
The
overhaul
designs are
them.
great. Dude,
Yeah.
I remember the first time, I forget the name of the boss, but when you're in I think it's the city in the sky, when you're flying around with the dragon in the air.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're like, this is so epic, and then you're fucking done because it's so easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I'm like, and don't get me wrong. I got my flight dragon boss fight with Colgera in Tears of the Kingdom, which was exactly what I wanted this fight to be. And Colgera is not a difficult boss either, but
And it's also
at
not
least,
a dragon.
Wait.
yeah, not technically a dragon. I'm more of like
I thought it was a
dragon.
dragon, but like that first trailer reveal, like, oh my god, it's a giant ice
Yeah.
dragon. Then it was actually no, it's a giant ice parasite monster.
Yeah, so
Like,
it's
Can I
like a
plug
centipede
another
thing.
just a random YouTube channel I have no affiliation with, because I think it's something every Zelda fan should watch, especially of those games.
Oh, is there an end to this? I don't hear what you
I'm
said.
asking if I can before I do
Yeah.
it.
Sure.
Okay. So I've told you guys this before, but Internet Pit Stop on YouTube, that's the channel name, Internet Pit Stop,
Mhm.
has a couple Zelda videos that are so awesome.
Okay.
Especially on the atmosphere and like of everything of Twilight Princess. And just highly recommend the content. That's it.
Yeah, I might have to check them out. All right. We have I think this is the last question unless we get more super chats in. I just got bricked up, so I took care of that. What is everyone's favorite adult beverage?
Come.
I knew that was coming.
To be fair,
Literally, I knew that.
to
was
be fair,
coming.
you can have that as a teenager. You don't have to be an adult. You never been to high school, buddy? You never been to high school? Come
Oh
on
my
now.
God.
Come
I
on.
think we had
Good night,
different
everybody.
experiences. I like the
I'm
adult. I
sorry
like
you had to wait till you were 18
No,
plus for
Nate,
that. My
I don't
buddy.
think I was clear. I like adult cum. Maybe you, it doesn't matter for you. I like adult.
I'm sorry that you had to wait till 18 to experience that. That's all right.
I'm not saying I had to wait till 18, but I like the taste of it from an adult. I like an adult beverage.
Whoa, now. Whoa, now.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm
Congratulations,
saying.
Alan. He
What
found
is
the
happening?
right teacher. He had the right teacher in this
God
class.
damn.
All right. More serious note. Are we going to answer the question, or are we just going
All
to?
right, so
about
I
cum all day.
I don't have a specific favorite. I'm not like a huge alcohol guy. I hate beer. But I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
give you like a handful of drinks I do like. I
Sure.
I like Mike's Hard just for fun. I have a few. Sometimes I might drink that with lunch or
Yeah,
something.
Mike's Hard,
Or
all right.
friends come over. Right. I do enjoy White Russians. Those are pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah, White Russians. But that's almost
Only
like
White Russians? Only
No,
white?
dude, that's a party time. You have
the
White
drink.
Russians.
The
Dude,
drink.
White Russians can be a huge party drink.
It's
Yeah.
pretty fun. I mean, I don't actually like rum and coke, but I'll order it a lot just because it's easy.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
you drink that when we were out?
I
think
don't
you had
remember.
one. I think you had a
Yeah,
rum and Coke. That was your
it's like
drink.
the most basic thing that
It's
I
a
know
basic,
the
yeah.
bartender's gonna hear. I actually don't like it because I like Coke, like Coca-Cola as
Yeah.
a drink, as a
Oh, I
soda.
don't-
And I feel
Oh,
like the
good
I'm a
rum
rum and
kinda-
Coke guy when I'm partying.
the
so.
rum kind of ruins the Coke, if that makes any sense. I
Well,
actually prefer to drink rum and whiskey on their own.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're okay. So
I'll drink like
you're
straight
kind of like
liquor,
you're kind of
fine.
like my fiance. She like loves well, she actually really likes daiquiris, but she'll take what is it, a margarita, but she'd rather the tequila be put in shots. She could just get it over with quick and then enjoy the drink.
Oh,
Just feel like a
interesting. No,
spicy-
for a
I love a
margarita,
spicy
I'll
mar-
drink it as is. Though.
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
drink it as is as well. But Yulia's like she doesn't like the taste of alcohol that much. She'd rather just get it over with just super quick and then actually
Blue Long Island. That's fun.
Okay, Long Islands in general are just those are strong.
One random story. For like when I was in college, I was with my friends, and there was 3 of us. We ordered 2 large Blue Long Islands, and they didn't feel like drinking it, and so we already had a few drinks that night. And I was an idiot, and so I just took both, straw in each one, and just slurped it up.
Oh, damn.
And that night ended with me crying outside my house at 7 a.m.
Does
Locked
not
out.
surprise me.
Yeah.
We need to
Hello.
find a time that you and I
In the
can go
rain.
have some fun where we're not working.
Yeah.
We need
Be
to
fun.
get you up
Just
here to visit.
sometime. Maybe if someone I come down on a cruise and I have a free day, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or we get him up here to
Because
visit.
I'm coming
so it's
down.
cheaper here.
I don't know where you live in down in Florida. I'm going to be. We're
West
going out
Kendall.
of. We're going out of Orlando this year.
When you came to Miami, where'd you go?
we weren't that far away from the ports.
Okay. I mean, you're probably just like a 20-ish, 30-ish minute
But
drive.
this year we go out of Orlando this year, so
Okay.
that's probably further away from you. But I think it's
Yeah.
closer to Mike. Because I
Mhm.
remember Mike's closer to Orlando. You were closer to Miami.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Nate, can you guess mine? I think you know it.
maybe I should just fly down a day early to just like go to where you're at, hang out, have some fun,
Yeah.
and then go up to where we need to go. Maybe that's what I need to do. Hey, I know. Sorry. See, Jake, I understand you're asking an important question, but it's just literally in June, I'm going to be in Florida. And every time I've gone there, I've always missed the opportunity.
In
to hang out
June?
with-
All right.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
June. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah. We're thinking like June 19th, June
Well,
20th.
My
we're
brother's
leaving.
getting married in July, so I was like, oh,
Mr. Han, isn't this our time?
Well, who bought the question? That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh.
Some asshole.
so-
by the
gonna
way,
say.
Captain Doge.
I don't see. I saw it in Nintendo Talk super chats today.
I always get
Didn't see a Jake Randall.
Captain
I
Doge
took
is
a cat last
asking, have
week.
I seen an alligator? I always get confused between alligators and crocodiles. The big crocodiles have the more narrow ones, and I'm not even sure which one's in Miami. I should probably know that, but I haven't seen any of them personally, like in like the neighborhoods that I live in. Even though there are some lakes, and in theory they could come through, like the waterworks.
Yeah.
However, there is a national park that's like maybe like a 25-30 minute drive from here, in like in the Miccosukee area. And there's like a park where you can get a bike and you ride around like a 4 or 5 mile trail. You can walk it too, and there's just alligators all over the place. On basically, it's like a sidewalk. And there's also like giant
Hell yeah.
herons that are like 4 or 5 feet tall. 5 feet is probably an exaggeration. Let's say 3 to 4. But they're like these really tall, like dinosaur-looking birds. And there's snakes. But
That's sick.
you could take kids here, right? Like as long as you don't interact with them, you can literally walk by them or ride them. Like you could touch them. Like there's
This
nothing
sounds
stopping
wild
them.
to me. I think I'm gonna prefer the we come to
Andres.
a day earlier than usual, and then
Here's a
me,
trivia question for
don't
you.
have to
and your
go there.
brother go out for drinks, and we ignore the gators.
Who invented this country's national park system? The entire thing. Whose
I
idea
don't
was
know
it?
that. I don't know that. I don't
Theodore
know.
Roosevelt.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Sorry,
Thanks,
every time I hear gator, it's just gators bitches better be wearing jimmies. I don't know if you guys get that movie reference. It's the other guys. For those who don't know, it's the other guys. This is where it comes from. It's a Will Ferrell thing.
Nintendo. What's your favorite adult beverage?
Exactly. That's what I was going to get to.
Oh, I got a top 3. I mean, Jack and Coke is the best. Come on.
Oh, there we go.
Individual.
Okay, whiskey Coke,
Corona. Corona's great, and then
Sure.
Bailey's on ice.
Okay.
there we go. Damn, dude. It sounds like I gotta go visit
Damn,
you.
Corona's in your
You know
top
how to
3? What the
drink.
fuck?
It's a shame we can't all
yeah.
like meet up at E3 or something.
Are you guys
Yeah,
going to PAX?
it's a shame that E3 doesn't exist anymore.
You guys
Yeah.
going to PAX?
PAX?
again?
I don't
Not
think
this-
this year,
Not
unless
this year.
there's a Nintendo Live at PAX West, maybe. But
They're gonna announce a new system and they're gonna show.
I
it
already
at E3.
partied with Jake. He gave me something out of a literal skull at a house. I don't remember what it was, but you
That's
know what?
crazy.
I did it.
Do you remember my favorite alcohol? I think you know it, Nate.
Your favorite? I don't remember your favorite now.
My favorite type?
Was it a beer? No.
Tequila.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you did some tequila with me. I didn't know if that was
Oh.
your favorite though.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
because it's the only alcohol that's an upper, not a downer.
Yeah.
And it's the only alcohol that doesn't convert into sugar in your bloodstream because it's made from agave. So it, like, I try to watch my blood sugar. So
Yeah. I remember you telling me that.
Yep.
Yeah. It was funny
I
though,
like
because funnily enough, you wouldn't do as much tequila as I was doing. It's kind of interesting. I was getting a little
Yeah.
more bricked up than you. It happens. To be
Yeah.
fair, you were already bricked up by the time I met you. So it
that's
is what it
true.
is.
I had a lot of things in my system.
Look, we don't need to talk about those things. Eric, if you had to, what's your favorite drink?
Give me an amaretto sour.
Woo! There we go. Amaretto sour. That's a popular one. We'll take it. Mine. So usually when I want to party, I'm doing rum and coke, but it's not because I really enjoy it. It's kind of one of those that it kind of ruins the coke, but I know there's booze, and I like coke. Like you see me drinking Coke Zero, it's like I like coke. So the coke kind of makes the booze more tolerable. But you want to get me really crunk. Well, one, for starters, I won't turn down any booze that anyone buys me. So you start buying me shit, whatever you buy me, I'm doing. Or if you have like, there's this bar in Eau Claire that on Friday nights has God, it's not $1.
I feel like we're
shot.
having a post podcast talk live.
No, we're not though. This is a question. You can see it.
It's your question
What?
Your question.
It's a paid question.
Yeah.
by you.
So what? I was curious. Can I not be curious?
Oh, you absolutely can. I'm just
I know
saying.
I can ask. I know I can ask in the after show, but it's not as much fun.
I'm not saying that. I'm not.
I'm trying to
arguing
talk about my
against the
favorite. It's
conversation.
my turn, and now
All
you're
right.
just shitting on me.
All right.
I let you
it's your
go. I
birthday,
let
you can
the
party
10
if you
talk do a
want to.
top 3. Anyways, no. So I do a lot of rum and cokes and Miller Lite. Those are like the standards, but I don't actually like either one of them. To be fair, if I'm really gonna party, it's gonna be Long Island iced teas, and I hate tea. But as I said, there's this place that has like $1 Long Islands, and that's dangerous. That is very dangerous. To have $1 Long Island. You guys might go, I paid $15. Don't tell. I don't know. Their goal is to get a lot more than Long Islands out of you. That's what I'm pretty sure. But I don't actually like them because I hate tea. And when it comes to an actual drink I enjoy, tequila sunrise. And it's ironic because tequila is my
absolutely hate
poison, but
tequila.
I want to get drunk. If I want to get drunk, I'm drinking tequila sunrises all fucking day. All fucking day. Give me all. Also, if you make the Bloody Mary just right, Bloody Marys can be really good, especially if you have the right extras thrown in. You get the loaded Bloody Marys. Anyways, if you know, you know. If you don't, you know. Why we talk about Mexican Coke? I like Mexican
Soda.
Coke as well.
Soda.
I know because it uses real sugar cane. It's in a glass bottle.
It's great.
It is good. It is good. But, anyways, we have no other super chat, so I guess I'll finally hide that, and we will start wrapping up the stream. We're gonna go around to everyone in the chat. You get to say who you are, where you're from, and just know there will be a post talk show that Nintendo Talk will probably definitely bail from. Let's start with Daddy Jake. Where can they find you? Twitter,
I'm
where
out
there's
of
a
the
giveaway, clearly.
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter where I'm giving away 5 4-day badges to PAX East in Boston, which is March 21st to 24th. If you just look up Jake Randall on Twitter, it's my last tweet. All you have to do is like the tweet and reply a video game. You don't even have to follow me. I don't care. I just want to do the giveaway.
There you go, Nate.
And then you can also find me on YouTube, which is just Jake Randall, and OnlyFans.com.
Let me guess, you're going to PAX East, aren't you?
Hell, dude, I live like.
Did
30
you just
minutes away.
interrupt me during
God
my
damn it.
fucking OnlyFans plug?
Yep.
Dude, your OnlyFans has no post. Nobody cares.
OnlyFans.com/Twitch Destroyer. I'm building up my audience.
There's not. You can't even follow.
All right.
I literally have a
bookmark
dude.
it.
You want to, dude? Every time I go on my web browser on my phone, it reminds me that Jake sent me a link to OnlyFans.
It'll be
I
funny.
have to.
Are you,
Yulia
are you
asked
checking my
questions.
OnlyFans on the daily, Nate? Are you getting bricked up to my OnlyFans?
You know, it'd be funny if what you did is you posted like a picture of just one of your toes that's about 2 inches long, but you post it in a weird way, so it's left up for interpretation for what it actually is.
Just by the way, it says OnlyFans sent by Jake. I don't know if you can see it. Every time I open a tab, it's like the second suggestion. Yet every time I check there, there's nothing going on.
He's saving it for the content, man.
He's saving it. I'm actually kind of afraid when there is content. So,
Okay,
All
keep
right,
it up. I'm gonna eventually open up Bandana Charmander's OnlyFans, and that's gonna be your biggest competition.
There you go.
oh, there
There
it
you
is.
go.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Andres,
I'm
we
gonna
got
have
going on.
another,
Check out
an
that tail.
alternate OnlyFans called Nintendo Bitch. So watch for that one too.
No boy.
Yeah, it's where when I finally wear the Jason Tatum jersey, it's just a bunch of pictures of me. Andres, Restart, what you got going on?
So yeah, my name's Andres Restart. I talk about the exact same Nintendo topic every day. So if you like listening to the exact same thing every single day without any research, without any perspective or critical thinking or nuance, yeah, check my channel out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad he said that after I brought up the stupid Nate the hate shit.
boy.
Nintendo Talk. What you got going on?
Yes, I'm Patrick from Nintendo Talk. You can check me out. Today I did my first vertical stream on YouTube. They introduced that. today.
Yeah.
What
that
the
was it.
fuck
I saw
is that?
So like it shows up on YouTube Shorts. And
How'd it go?
dude, I did a 2-hour vertical stream and I gained like 500 subscribers, but it was
Are
like
you
a bunch
fucking-
of it was interesting.
Did you like, do it from your phone?
No, so if you do like a vertical setup on your OBS, it'll automatically make it a vertical stream. It kind
Dude,
of
you
looks
had
cool
17,000 views.
in less than 2 hours. Yeah.
Holy fuck!
It's insane.
Well, I'm
I know
doing
what Nate's
it.
doing tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow morning.
Yeah, right.
Vertical stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know what Nate's doing tomorrow.
So can you? So it's just a vertical setup. Otherwise, you can just do everything normal in OBS, right?
Yep. Yeah. As long as you have like a vertical aspect ratio,
And
it'll
you can-
automatically like.
So
get
you were about to insult the subscribers you gained from it. What were you saying?
Oh no, I just said it. You could tell it's like the shorts audience. Like they're younger.
Well,
but
we do have shorts. I do shorts on my
Yeah.
channel. So
We get to ban a lot
I
of
wear
people.
shorts during the summer.
oh, were they like talking like dumb,
It was just like a lot of like trolly
dumb
comments.
like middle school
Ah.
trolley shit? Yeah.
And it was weird too because the
So
viewer
I don't know
count-
if any of my mods are paying attention. We are totally doing a vertical stream tomorrow morning,
do it.
and I don't know
Is that
who's
just
going to be there.
streaming with
They
a
should all be
boner?
in school, but it is what it is.
I've
We
been
did
doing
it
a
7
vertical
hours
stream
ago,
all
which is
night.
literally
I just don't know what I would do. Like,
I
I
would
would
just-
really do anything.
You can
I would
play a
feel-
game.
I would
you
feel
could,
bad like playing like I would like for example, I've actually been getting like the itch to like stream
What if
Tears
I
of the
play-
Kingdom again.
Yeah,
But, like
play Tears
I
of the
feel
Kingdom, that's what I
bad
was
for
thinking.
doing it in that way because you wouldn't see the whole game. Or if you do, I would have
Yeah.
to scale it really small. Which
But that's you
yeah.
got to remember. This is how the youngins are
Yep.
like ingesting content. They don't care about that.
It's really weird though, because like your viewer count will be like 300 and then 600 in like a matter of 10 minutes, and then
Dude,
like
that is insane.
back
I
to
just wanted
200
you to test it out. I'm glad that you tested it out because I was very curious because I've seen some other people do it, and I was like, it's not going to replace my standard stream at night, guys. Don't
Yeah,
worry about that.
exactly.
But it's about reaching new audiences and just kind of expanding because we do shorts on my channel about 2 or 3 a week. So it's interesting to kind of reach a new audience, and I have to remember they're younger, so we probably won't be doing shots.
Maybe the
When
right
you
way to
drop
do it.
$100 super chat, I might show the children what shots look like.
I
But
think I like that idea. So I'm looking at the chat, right? I think was Pippuccino saying that smaller screen looks better than Zoom. So maybe the right way to do it is have like the game on one half of the screen and then like your camera on the other half.
oh yeah, some
Yeah.
people do that.
That
Some
might-
people do that. I've seen it on
to me,
TikTok.
that feels like
You
I
do the
would
whole
just feel
game.
bad. Like yeah, exactly. I want to show the whole game, but also feel bad if the screen's too small. But I mean, like if you're watching on your phone,
That is interesting though, and then that clearly
yeah.
went really well for you as an
One of the-
experiment.
yeah, it went really well. And one of the things I did at the end was I played Mario Kart 64, and like it works better if you're doing like a 4x3. Like so, a lot of like classic games and could work out.
Dude, this
the
is
Earthbound stream's about to happen. Here we go.
I legitimately am setting this up tomorrow just for fun. If I have no topic to make a video on in the morning, I might just say fuck it. Let's
should
try this
try
out,
it.
see what happens. Just to experiment. I don't know. By the way, I don't know that my style of channel is gonna click with everyone. But
Nope.
you know what? Maybe I get because here's the thing. I keep
You're gonna
thinking about the
transition.
shorts and the TikTok. No, because I'm not like I don't want like a bunch of really I don't want a whole bunch of kids subscribing to my channel, but I will note that I actually know that most adults also just consume content in vertical form.
Oh yeah, everyone does.
My entire family does. They don't even watch YouTube. So I could actually maybe, even though there'll be a lot of kids, it could transition into most of the subscribers might end up actually being adults if I'm
Well,
doing
I mean,
more,
the kids
more
will
mature
turn into
stuff.
adults eventually.
That's true.
Sam
this
says
is-
you
Might
could
as well
play
screw them
Ocarina of Time, dude. That would be a great game to do that.
That would be great
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Go on NSO, play Ocarina of Time.
Try it
Oh
out.
man. Give me a reason to replay a game from my childhood.
Yeah.
I don't replay games, but for the audience,
that could be a good one.
and I can still have cool things pop up. I can still have my confetti go off and do all my normal stream shit. It's just on the smaller. Oh
Mhm.
man, I like this.
Word.
Look forward to Nintendo Prime Live probably at like 10 a.m. tomorrow. 'Cause, unless I got a video to make, I'm glad that so it works really well. I've seen people do it on TikTok. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't worry, Nate. You don't have any videos to make. There's no Nintendo news. So
Yeah. There is no Nintendo news. What if I tried what would happen if I tried my traditional stream without a game
Just like
in
a
this format?
chatting.
Just like a chatty stream talking about Switch 2.
Could
Could
try
work.
both.
I mean,
One
you don't
each.
know. It's a whole new audience.
hey man,
Yeah.
I might wake up tomorrow and
It
you'll
might
be
work.
at 300 million subscribers.
Oh, dude, if I kept going,
I mean, how
would.
long was the stream again? You streamed for only couple hours, and what was it? 500 subs?
500 subscribers. Yeah.
I guess
God,
I'm just
dude.
curious if like those are actually if they'll
Well, you
actually
don't know.
translate
It's
to, like,
he just did it.
viewers.
so.
Yeah.
I think
I wanna
those
do a
viewers
vertical
will.
stream where it's just like a
Or
Like
they'll
one of
watch your shorts.
you know like those
Yeah.
streams where like it just streams nonstop and it watches the person sleep, whatever. Mine's gonna be like streaming until one of my viewers finds out where I live,
Dude,
breaks
that
into
is
my house, and turns
insane.
off my computer.
Oh, there you go.
Well, shit.
And like
Yeah.
occasionally I'll drop hints if I'm like getting too tired.
Just
Ooh, that,
DM me the
it
aspect
would be,
ratio.
that
quick,
would
so I
actually be
forget the
very
aspect.
interesting if
I
you
don't
just
make
had
my
it-
own
if your phone
shorts.
was constantly live streaming you and the title of the live stream would just find me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's that kind of
It's
idea.
extremely dangerous, but it's also like
This is
kind of interesting.
Mhm.
I.
Don't
'cause
actually
look,
do that.
I'm an old
That is
hat
not-
man. I
that
don't
is-
think
this
of
is-
how to reach the youngins anymore.
It was a
By
new
the way,
thing, and
guys,
I was
thank
like,
you
"Screw it."
for the blessings. I appreciate
And
it.
and I'm kind of thinking like, what would happen? So, because like obviously I get a lot of super chats of my streams. I'm like, what would happen if like I'm like, hey, I throw the shots out there? Does it just go fucking nuts because there's like 7,000 people watching?
I thought
Just
the
for the
number
record-
would be a lot higher, but it seems like people like just endlessly scroll. So, like I said,
Sure,
you
yeah.
get Yeah, but
You got to in the moment that they scroll to you, that you got to be entertaining them, or they're
Yeah.
just going to keep going.
Maybe I could
Yeah.
bring back Tears of the Kingdom, and I could bring back the lava house building.
This is.
you should do it.
I'm
And it's
very
so
curious.
new. It's gonna eventually get saturated.
Hey,
so I
all
would say
200 of you,
earlier-
be sure to show up tomorrow while you're working. Come support me, because
'Cause-
you're adults.
I remember when Tears of the Kingdom came out, I had this idea to build a house out of lava, and
So-
I spent hours like trying to build a house out of lava, and I thought it was gonna be such a great idea. Flopped, but
Matthew
I
Bob,
enjoyed it.
if you want to reach out to me, I can refund you this. We don't do song requests during the podcast. So if you would like a refund, just reach out to me and I will send you that money
Or you
back.
can do it tomorrow.
or next stream.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, can I play copyright music in the vertical streams? I don't know. Probably won't, because it's our first one. We'll probably stick with copyright free stuff. But tomorrow night, if you want to show up tomorrow night, I can play that as the first song. Just remind me, or I can refund you if you want. Because I understand if there's confusion, but yeah, we don't do song requests on our podcast stream. All right. Did anyone else not shout out their shit yet?
I'm here.
Eric, there we go.
I'm here.
He's just here every Wednesday wearing that Nintendo Prime merch.
Word.
Oh yeah, that's
Yo,
right. Show it off the-
Eric Moore,
I
I
don't
beat
even
every
have-
shrine.
I
That's
don't
right.
even have that. I don't even have that shirt. Eric is special. He's the only one with it. I think. I don't think anybody has the shirt but him.
That's gonna be worth $1 million someday.
Maybe.
You can
No.
Photoshop your logo on my.
Enough. You can follow Nintendo
No, it's
Prime.
a real thing. I wasn't making a joke. It's a real thing. It's me going like this with a blank shirt.
I
And
know.
everyone's using it to put whatever they want, and you can put it on there.
I'd
all
rather
I'm
just
saying.
send you a Nintendo Prime shirt and you just legitimately put one on.
I don't know if I want to do that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, I understand until I have the Jason Tatum jersey. I understand holding off.
Yeah. The hell.
Yep.
And for those who don't know, I lost 2 bets against Jake Randall. I have to wear a Boston Celtics jersey. It's probably, it's going to end up on a podcast while the Bucks play, so that'll be fun.
Mhm.
And then he also gets to control my name and the under thing for the whole stream, and he can't change it. Well, maybe I can give him permissions to come in so he can change it throughout the whole stream if he wants to just mess with me. But I think I can promote people to do that. I don't know. I got to look at it, but. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. You can find the Nintendo Prime podcast right here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time, or roughly 8 p.m. Central Time. Next week, we actually are not doing it on Wednesday. We're doing it on Thursday, which, one, make sure Daddy Jake can be there because he wasn't going to be there on a Wednesday. 2, it also makes sure that we're
Valentine's Day,
doing
man.
if there is a direct on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, it gives us the opportunity to actually react to the direct. There are many times when our podcast happens the day before the direct.
Guys,
we-
if you work at this is an important announcement, actually. If you work, since we're not going to meet till after Valentine's Day, if you work at a restaurant or a coffee shop, whatever, and every time you see a couple come in on Valentine's Day, say to the guy, wow, second girl today, huh? Every time. You will end at least one relationship and it will be hilarious.
Oh god.
Anyways, setting aside being a dick.
Nintendo Prime does not endorse this stuff.
No, I do not endorse this at all. We have Paul Gale Network coming on next week. We got Niche Quick Pops coming on. Botox Games is coming on as well. Andres Restart might be doing his own thing, which is totally fine. He's
Yeah,
not
fuck
fully
him.
committed yet to Thursday. He's
We'll
always
see.
committed on Wednesdays. It's up in the air. It's up in the air. He might be here, he might not. I understand. Dude, a partner showcase comes, you gotta do what you gotta do. Nintendo Talk will definitely not be here, unfortunately. But hey, I sent you a DM and you just ignored it and didn't commit to anything else. I think he hates me. It is what it is.
No, I'll be on. I'm always around.
Yeah, you're always around. You answer better than Zach does. I'll say that. So we'll throw that
Ooh.
out there.
Yeah,
No
let's
shade.
call
No
him
shade.
out.
whatsoever. He went on vacation and then just pretends I don't exist anymore. It is what it is. All right,
We'll get
guys.
him on here.
Everyone. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back on someday when he eventually checks my DM, all my unread DMs. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here, and we will catch you not the same time next week, the day after. So it's gonna be a little bit away, 8 days to the next podcast. Catch you guys later.
See ya.
guys.
I almost just ended the stream inappropriately.
Mhm.
Hold on, we have an outro.